Welcome to Shareware, the weekly podcast of friends discussing games, news, and everything in between. Each episode ends with the Game Club, where you all play along. Mm-hmm. This week's Game Club is Alpha Protocol.
Alpha Protocol.
In each...
It's a shower simulator.
Huh?
You have a loofah. You have to follow everything to the T.
Brent, don't stop.
Huh?
Don't stop.
You're doing
not
a
done
bit?
yet.
Anyway. Okay, this week's Game Club is Alpha Protocol, in which we play through Saudi Arabia. You guys don't like how I say Alpha Protocol?
Alpha Protocol.
Alpha Protocol.
If you make fun of everything Brent says, then we're never going to get to the first segment. So you're just going to have to let it go.
I'll let it happen.
If you wish to jump ahead, because you don't want to listen to this shit anymore, timestamps for each segment can be found in the show notes. Shotes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was
good.
I was confused as fuck.
Yeah.
What
show notes
fuck?
is a really old term. It's
Yeah.
kind of old-fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, you remember that bit we did last week? We're gonna do the bit again.
Recurring bits are
Yep.
half of the reason you watch a podcast.
Recurring bits are also half of our podcast. So
Well,
The math checks
good.
out. We're just doing everything the way people want it served up to them.
25% listening.
you know, one thing that we actually haven't told people is that we actually just, at this point, now that we have a sizable base of recordings, we just splice together the recordings to make the podcast.
Oh yeah, we record about 5 minutes of new audio every week, and most of the other like 2 hours and 15 minutes is just me splicing together shit.
Yeah.
It's
Thanks
just-
for that, by the way, Josh.
It saves me so much time.
Brett is a plebe.
Hey,
That was new because we need to reiterate that Brett is a plebe every episode.
This
In
week features
person.
new Brett is a plebe dialogue.
Yeah.
ooh, DLC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only $25 and you can get 5 minutes of me talking about how much of a plebe Brett is.
The Shareware season pass.
Send an email if you're interested.
So other than
Actually,
those,
just send an email, please.
Yeah, if you want.
Other than
or
the-
if you don't.
other than the world's longest stunted speech bit, what do we have going on this episode?
So this episode, as I talked about earlier, we were going to have the game club where we were
Mhm.
playing Alpha Protocol.
That checks out.
The best
Yeah.
game ever made, actually.
So we should each move into our sections now.
That-
you should
there we go.
introduce our segments.
Oh, our
So
segment.
just run them off at the top.
I kind of like the idea of that.
All right, let's fucking do it.
Okay,
Okay.
well,
What are the
I'm
segment titles?
Brent. I'm going to be talking about Cities Skylines.
Thank you.
'Cause
He's
there's
only
multiple.
gotten to the first Skyline.
Yeah.
Oh.
He just started.
It's
so.
basically still a shitty little town.
It's like
anyway,
it's like
Shitty
Ori.
Skylines?
You get the power orb of the skyline.
Yeah. Once you get the charge jump, you actually can build skyscrapers. It's really conducive to actually building a city.
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool.
Platformer city builder. You
Yeah,
actually
like
have to-
however
When you
high
go
you
around
jump is like how high your building goes. And
That sounds.
You
I
could-
mean, that's kind of what Minecraft is, but if Minecraft controlled better and like actually had abilities for like wall running and shit like that, that would be awesome.
you could make it really 20th century city building where you fall and die all the time.
Yeah.
And, like, nobody has
There's
to pay.
no unionization.
There's no OSHA or anything, yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Sometimes they forget to tell the widow her husband's dead.
Yeah, actually, that'd be kind of a good cutscene.
Your
when you
resource
die.
income is just all child miners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck podcasting. Let's just go develop this shit.
Yeah,
You
we
gotta
were really good
write
at
a
coming up
video
with game
game.
ideas.
Um,
Anyway, so you got your skyline.
Yeah, so that was my part. Brett, what are you talking about this week?
Just read the title.
I don't want to read your title. Just tell me what you're talking about.
don't reward his bad behavior.
Ooh.
Don't read this title.
Do
See,
you
now
know-
he has to actually think of his
do you
title.
know what
Yeah,
you're
see,
talking
I have an idea of what I'm talking about that I was expecting to get to in about 20 minutes, but I've been hoisted by my own petard. Okay.
What Brett's saying is that he's petarded. He can't think of anything.
So this week, Brett, I guess he's got some kind of bit he's going to go over.
It's not a bit.
Yeah, no.
It's a
Brett's
genuine
just,
topic.
Brett's goofing around. It's gonna be really nonsensical.
It's a good
We're
topic.
not actually gonna exchange.
Well, once again, I'd like to
Okay.
emphasize that the timestamps can be found in the show notes.
Yes.
If
You
you'd
can
like to
skip
skip
to anything you want. And I emphasize skip.
Okay,
skip is a
fine.
big
Fine.
one.
You know what? I just saw that our thing is brought up here, and I could see the title myself, so I'll read it, Brent.
Okay, read your title.
my subject is sometimes it is more cooler to experience things you have already watched. I'm not going to read the last bit because it doesn't make any sense and it's not funny.
Read it, Brent.
But the first part,
No.
so much sense.
Brett,
So funny.
read
It was close to what I'm trying to talk about.
That's true.
Basically, my idea is just like, maybe with all this new kind of shitty garbage coming out, it's cooler to go back to shit you already liked. And we'll get further deeper into that on the podcast.
I think Brent just discovered that his chair swivels, and now he's in a bit of a predicament.
You know it actually rolls too.
Oh God, no!
There's a visual gag.
Oh shit! Yeah, visual.
No, trust me, that was an audio thing too. I'm sure that fucking picked up on the mic.
Yeah, that's why I did it. Otherwise,
Okay.
otherwise it would have been a visual.
Actually, no, that sounds interesting though, Brett.
Thank you.
Stop
There you
playing
go.
into his bit. He's just gonna pull the rug out from under you.
Actually, dicks. Have you ever thought about peeing?
Yeah.
The time.
Baby
Yeah.
goop.
And
Oh.
what other segments are going on?
Nothing.
Saudi Arabia Game Club? What?
Oh, okay.
Is there another one?
Nah, I mean, that sounds like everything.
Oh, do you want to talk about something this week, Josh?
I will be talking about the recent confirmation of the PS4 Neo and the implications it has on console releases in the future.
Gay.
All right,
Who plays a console?
noobs.
More like a con butthole.
Or like a con out of your money.
Yeah. Ooh.
But then again, the PC going in that direction too. So
Everyone knows that N-Gage is the only platform worth investing in.
Play some Tomb Raider.
On the go.
Woo. 20
Ah.
FPS.
So
Why don't we start at the top then?
start at the top. That's I guess me.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
the
at the
top,
top.
like
the top
the
of
top
the
of
city.
skyline, the city
Yeah, the
skyline.
city skylines.
Right up there. As
So-
you so eloquently put.
Nice.
City Skylines is a first-person shooter.
Oh, I played
Okay.
this.
No, actually, it's a city builder.
Well, no fucking shit.
I know, Brent.
God damn.
Yeah, actually, when I bought it, I thought it was. No, I knew it was a city builder.
No, it's a good one.
It is. You've played it.
I have played it.
It is a very good city builder.
Have you played it, Josh?
I have not. I am not really into city builders.
Once again, I bridged the gap.
You know, I actually haven't enjoyed that many city builders before, but this was one that kind of I've seen around, like recommended by other people.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of getting into this one.
It's nice and simple.
Yeah, well,
Like
the way-
simple and complex. You know?
Right, yeah. So you have like these complex layers going on, but it's really easy to manage everything just because they have
Good interface design. And that
Yeah,
kind of
good
thing.
interface design and like we'll talk about interface design later.
Oh boy.
Well, show notes. So what was I talking about?
Why it's complex but still simple in a way.
Well, okay, so there's different zones. So you zone areas for buildings to be built. You don't have to micromanage what houses get built where. You zone like residential, like commercial or like
Kill
office
zone,
buildings,
dark zone.
Industrial.
industrial areas. Like you can have like higher density, residential areas like apartments and stuff.
Yep.
Versus suburbs.
Like
Yeah.
the video game development area.
Do they actually? A quick question: do they actually let you build a game development studio? Because that seems like the kind of
No.
cheeky thing. I'm sure
Not
there's
that
a
I
mod
know
for
of.
that.
I haven't even gotten into.
It would have to be like a whole district of people making video
Yeah,
games.
exactly.
So
Well,
it wouldn't even be
yeah.
like a studio. It would be like 5,000 different people just like
Yeah,
everyone
well,
drives to work on Monday and like it's a line of game developers.
It's
in
AAA
traffic.
game development. There's hundreds of them, and they're crammed into tiny kennels, and there's just like smokestacks pouring out. It's like an 1800s.
They're
or
like
1900s
make
factory.
Assassin's Creed 20. Do
Yeah.
it now.
Exactly.
and you make Assassin's Creed 21.
And you can hear the whips cracking and everything.
We have to get one out every quarter.
It reduces the happiness of the
Fucking
city.
eight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reduces the happiness of the city by 50%, but quadruples the profits.
Yeah.
So it's a good investment.
And then drives up like prices for homes, and everyone gets driven out of town. And
Damn big game development running a set of business.
yeah, Anyway,
there used to be a restaurant here.
So things that are actually in the game.
So things that are actually in the game, it's really, really, like it makes managing the city fun instead of work. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's some city builders where you would kind of feel like you're doing work.
Yeah.
You know? But
it's like some kind of management sim or something.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's so tedious.
It really like. I'm trying to think of.
I think there's things. There's two kinds of management games. There are ones that capture the day-to-day realities of management, and then there's ones that make you feel like a manager who has a lot of really, really good underlings that somehow managed to convert his insane fucking requests to reality.
Yeah. Capturing the fantasy of power and control as opposed to the actual minutia.
Yeah.
Although, there are plenty of people who want to get into that actual minutia.
Oh, absolutely.
And there are way more tedious but interesting and complex games for them.
Football Manager.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't like having fun for a living,
plenty of German sims out there for you.
I would love to have fun for a living.
Have fun for a living, yeah.
And it's like, hey man, you gotta have fun all the time. And I'd be like, I can find a way to get irritated by this.
When you're having fun for a living, then you have to go home and play the management games so that you have something that weighs you down. Yeah.
It's just like...
Yeah, it's like flipped.
That's the thing I never understand. There are people who are like actual truckers that go home and play Trucking Simulator, or actual farmers that go home and play Farming Simulator.
Like, you never escape.
Yeah, that just seems insane to me.
I mean,
now I can relax.
With farmers, I mean, they do have like all winter to do fucking nothing.
Yeah, so you can just the fantasy is farming all seasons long.
Well, I feel like the reality of farming has to do with a lot more shit than you do in the game. Yeah, no, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
like
I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah, I mean, like literally, they have to deal with shit, and they have to deal with like aborted cow babies and shit like that. They need to pull babies out of cows, like
Cyclops pigs and stuff.
Cyclops pigs, like. But in the farming simulator, you're just like, everything's fine. I'm never gonna have to deal with a screaming horse kicking me in the face.
Maybe that's why they play it, because it's an ideal world of what they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, trucking guy gets home after like. The guy who's trucking, he gets home after like a hard day. He's been driving for like 10 hours, and like gets home and he's gotten like a couple tickets or something. I don't know. How's a bad day go for a trucker?
You run out of speed.
Yeah, you run out of speed.
You come down.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you're out of speed, and you can come home and you can play the ideal trucking world. Where
and now you can just drunk drive. You can just drunk drive. Like that's what every time I play a truck simulator. I'm either really, like, mega depressed or mega drunk.
This doesn't sound healthy.
Maybe this is for truckers.
But, like, they're perfect for it, because it's just like, I'm driving along in the night, the rain's pouring, I'm listening to some Swedish dude tell stories in a language I can't understand. Oh, I just ran a red light.
Fuck it.
Boom, boom, just hit cars all over the place. Fuck you! Fuck you! You don't tell me what to do. You don't tell me how to do my job.
Truck sim?
Yes, but they don't matter.
Oh, okay.
Like if you get caught in like speed traps and shit, but they never really exist. You never look out for cops and slow down because they just hit you anyway.
Oh, okay.
So Skylines.
So City Skylines.
Man, you got really good at
there's cops. There are cops in City Skylines.
Yeah, you got
you have fire.
Do you own the police?
No.
That's
you
when
don't
it becomes a
have to
first-person shooter, like you said.
You basically just build like your fire department, your police department. They can go out.
They just run amok.
Yep, they can go fix things or not fix things as it is.
The police are running the prison.
But
whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's really dark.
The other cool thing about City Skylines is there's actually just kind of a lot of detail going on in your city. So you've built this city and you can zoom in and see like the cars and the people.
Yeah, you can like, don't they have like names? Like you can like mouse over the people and they have names?
I think so.
You can
I've never done that. So
you can view the myriad life stresses.
I don't know about the names. Brent,
I think you actually do.
I don't
try and alleviate them.
Yeah, I don't want to say you can because I don't know, and maybe Brett knows.
I'm gonna say you can.
Okay, Brett knows for a fact. Send us an email.
Maybe.
Brent is the only one here who cares about lying.
Yeah. I guess
I'm
I
fine
could just
with lying.
bullshit. Yeah, you can mouse over the people and see like their
You can
names.
take control of them.
and their
You can
You can
mother's
see if they're
maiden name.
circumcised or not.
Yeah,
It's
they
really
got a whole
awesome.
like you can see their family tree going
which video
back.
games they developed. In the
Some
last
of them are
season.
reptilians.
What they're currently
Most of
thinking at the moment. You know, you can take them and throw them in some water on a roller coaster.
The
You take
greatest-
the ladder off
take
of the
them.
pool after they've gotten in it.
Yeah.
But you can like make the whole town a pool. You can have a pool district.
You
That
can
seems
actually
like a pretty rad district.
you
honestly.
you
Yeah.
can
Can you
make your
Imagine cleaning it though. Imagine it'd just be clogged with shit.
the pool district.
Yeah.
'Cause people
Well,
would be like, "Oh, it's
you-
so big, nobody will find out."
You can do stuff like I haven't done it, but I've seen people like you build like a giant lake and you take the wall away and you just flood the city,
Nice.
kill a bunch of people.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for someone to make the world's saddest, most mundane equivalent of like No Man's Sky, where it's like the mega game, like you can do anything and everything, and the sky is the limit, literally. But instead, it's just like we've combined every subgenre of management sim. So you have to build the city and manage the city. But then you also have to pull the ladders off of the pools, and you have to manage all the farming, and that contributes to how much food goes.
I like how in this theoretical situation there is a pull the ladder out of a pool simulator.
Yeah.
Like that's just a game unto itself.
Yeah, haven't you played The Sims?
Like, well, no, like I'm saying, like you have to get in there, and it's like left
Yeah.
click to move your right arm back.
That's
left click to move-
DLC.
Yeah,
I think
well,
it's
you
like
hold
$11.
both triggers, and then you turn the controller with the six
Oh,
axis.
So basically, you make it so like
Every facet of civilization you have to manage manually.
that's terrible.
Yeah, you have to drive the trucks that deliver in like the foreign supplies and that kind
You
of
could
thing.
call it like man's burden or some shit.
White man's burden. That's a great.
Yeah.
That's okay.
And then they have expansions where you have to like manage an African tribe, Black Man's Burden.
Or like a
Damn.
version where you have to make like the anime industry called Asian man's burden.
So City Skylines.
Yeah, I really don't have too much to say on it, so it's good we had some tangents here.
When were those?
Oh, I think there might have been one earlier about like.
Oh, I'm sorry
farming.
about that. I've been trying to cut down on
That
this
was all just,
recently.
meat and potatoes, just hashing out the nitty-gritty details of the
Yeah,
functions of this game.
cities, skylines.
Poorly done, kind of
And
racist
shit
jokes out of nowhere.
So if any of you listening want to just transcribe all that and then just put that straight onto Game Facts, like that's just a guide right there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
just follow that word for word, and you'll definitely have a 5-star city.
Okay,
Also,
okay, where
submit
are the
Jadish's
pool
ideas
letters?
to Ubisoft.
Yeah,
Ubisoft needs to hear about that.
that's actually all in Watch Dogs 2.
Really?
On top of the parkour and the pins on your backpack.
Did anyone play Watch Dogs 2?
Watch Dogs 2 is not
No,
out.
it was
just announced.
just announced.
Oh,
I played Watch Dogs 1.
okay.
Yeah,
I
you
have
did.
no idea what's going on with Watch Dogs because I just kind of thought it was.
You hit a button to hack.
Brent's kind of our industry analyst / news guru. We keep him on because he's always at the vanguard of new trends in video games.
So Brett's topic this week is Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell us about it.
I think the dude's Asian.
He looked black to me. I thought he was black. There's like 4 people on the cover though. I don't know who. is,
Yeah,
the
well, like
main
I
guy.
think I saw a gameplay photo or a mock-up or something. He looked Asian.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that it's not the same like grumpy, stern white hacker dude.
I'm Aiden Pierce.
With his baseball cap like down by his
Yeah, and
eyes.
his scarf pulled up to his eyeballs.
Super.
I think my favorite thing about Watch Dogs 1, which everyone who's played it has said this, but it's still funny, is that his sister was clearly written to be his wife for like 80% of development. So every time they're in a scene together, there's this weird sexual tension,
Oh, gee.
like in the motion cap and all that,
That's
between
kinda-
him and his sister.
I kind of want to look up the cutscenes now.
Oh god, if you look at it that way, it's really cringy. Like,
Ubisoft might just be into incest. Like I don't know. I think you're kind of stretching a little bit, assuming they wrote it as a wife instead of a sister.
well, the thing is, he's got another romantic interest. So he's either
He's a polygamist.
Oh my god,
He's an incestual polygamist.
He's an adulterer, an incestuous man,
And a hacker.
and a hacker.
He's probably a 4chaner.
He's probably that anonymous guy.
He hacks computers and sex.
Whoa! Like Aiden Pierce's sex hacks.
He's got a blog that you have to upload between missions.
Rotate your penis inside her using your phone.
No,
as a
no, it's like
hacking
those. It's like those kind of creepy like people who kind of try to lead people in. Those.
Oh, like the
those
one where like you have to save your semen for like 2 weeks and then
artists?
put
Yeah,
it
the
on.
pickup artist. That's what
we're talking about.
Yeah, Brent,
we're talking about different things.
Where
here.
the fuck were you going? Can we stop for a second and go back to that? Because I have no idea what
Wait,
this...
Josh, were you going where I was going?
Yes, I thought you were pickup artist. I don't know what this semen saving thing is.
Well, it's similar. I don't remember exactly when I heard about this. I might have been like 15 or 16 on like the 4chan or some shit.
Okay, that sounds reasonable.
But
That's where you would probably hear about
it
this.
was kind of in the same vein. It was like a way to use pheromones to get women to be attracted to you. And it was like you would save your semen in a container for about 2 weeks, and you would wait for it to get kind of... You'd wait for it to get kind of crusty and dry, and then you would like you'd rub it on yourself. You would rub it on yourself, and like the idea was that the pheromones of the semen would get girls to want to fuck you. And I don't think anyone who developed that process gave any real thought to it, because I don't think girls really like the smell of semen.
Well, what we're talking about isn't quite that sick.
So
I mean,
Sony has
it's in the same
confirmed
vein.
the PlayStation Neo. Guys, how about that?
Wait, no. Brett,
I'm not weird. I'm not weird.
Brett, you had a topic, I think.
He has a topic. Just let him go.
Okay, the show notes. I'd check out the show notes.
Yeah, show notes
yeah,
are real hot this week. There's definitely going to be something in them about this. Don't worry. Even if you skip this part of the episode, you'll find out.
Oh, good.
Links in the description.
Like and subscribe.
Send us an email about your semen saving strategies.
Where do you rub your semen? Write in to sharewarepodcast@shareware.com or leave a comment. Oh my god. What was I going to
Is
say?
this a new low or not?
I mean, it all depends on which way you think is up. Okay.
I don't know
I
why
don't
you
know
guys think
what's
that's
up.
weird.
So,
Clearly you guys have never gotten laid.
yeah. God.
I'm rolling knee deep in the puss here in my semen crusted.
He jumps right in. Somebody
That's
pulled
my
the
sex
ladder.
hack. That's my sex hack.
Somebody removed the ladder and he's stuck in there.
Well, you want to get your
He's
whole foot
drowning
in
in it
and kind
now.
of like most of your calf. You just want.
Yeah. Just jerk it around. In there.
Yeah. Rotates.
It's like you're fucking playing Dead Space and you're making sure the corpse is dead.
Yeah. That except sex. Except
Yeah.
you're loving a woman.
I don't know what you mean, except sex.
In
That's
Dead
just
Space, you are not trying to arouse and sexually satisfy a woman most of the time.
But it's about dismemberment.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Well, you need your member if you're gonna satisfy her.
Yeah.
Eventually, you
But
can
then
make do
you
with your feet
remove it and you
calves.
place it inside of the alien.
Alien. Women are people, man.
I don't
Yeah,
understand.
Josh, that's
I thought we were
kinda-
talking about females.
You got it.
Fuck. Fucking this guy's weird, right?
All right.
So PlayStation Neo.
I'm not even gonna try to be elegant. PlayStation Neo,
Off the road.
new track. PlayStation Neo has
Road
been. I don't even know.
This will be one of the timestamps just after the bullshit.
Yeah, I don't know where to put the timestamp for the PlayStation Neo segment because we've tried to escape 4 times now. I can just write it in separate times.
You put in a timestamp that just says "back to reality."
Here's where we tried to talk about PlayStation Neo, and then 10 minutes later, here's where we started talking about the PlayStation Neo. So for those of you just joining us now, thanks to utilization of the timestamps, Sony has confirmed that the PlayStation 4 Neo, which for those of you who don't recall from, I think we talked about this on like episode 0 or 1.
Yeah, episode 0. That's the one where I made the anime titty joke.
Yeah, that one time you made a joke about anime.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about anything on episode 0.
Yeah, you were really quiet.
Really quiet.
It took a while
I was
for you
like,
to come out
I
of your
was
shell.
standing
It took
in the
us a
corner
while, like-
just kind of watching.
Brent has been with us from episode 0. We just didn't know he was in the room.
He likes to watch.
I do.
And when he heard that we weren't into the visual gags, he was just like totally out of it. He's like, fuck. this
Well,
isn't
see,
gonna work.
eventually it
He's
kind
like,
of
I'll
built
appreciate
up.
the visual
So
gags.
first, I was standing outside of Josh's apartment, and then I slowly kind of worked my way up the stairs
Yeah.
And now
It was like some Dark Souls PvP shit where he's like mimicking himself into like a lamp, and then he sits there, and then you turn around and he moves up a step of the stairs. You're like, what? What is that? Yeah,
what I would do is I would always follow right behind the person I was stalking, even as like a barrel.
Because you can just fucking get away with it most of the time anyway.
Oh yeah, that, and it's also just it's a bit.
Yeah. Oh, you've never been known to have a bit.
I know. I allow myself a few bits.
Do bits?
I do bets.
You do bets?
I do bets.
He's actually got
Bets.
a gambling addiction. He's betting all the time.
Yes.
He's betting that this segment will reorient itself
so-
back towards PlayStation.
Yeah,
Neo.
are we going to have
It's
to put the
destroyed my
timestamp?
family. Oh yeah, we did it again.
Now the actual timestamp is going to go here. So the PlayStation Neo.
So I hear that the PlayStation Neo has been whatever.
Yeah,
Announced?
so for
Is
like
that it?
2 months
Confirmed.
and change, there have been rumblings from actually Microsoft and Sony about new, not just like hardware revisions of like, oh, we made the console smaller and quieter, and we took out a couple USB ports because no one was using them anyway. This is an actual tangible power increase, like more RAM, better GPU, better CPU, that kind of thing. Both are purported to be in development, a new Xbox One and a new PS4. And Sony has finally confirmed that, yes, we are working on a new PS4 with a power increase, which, I mean, if you want to take it to its logical conclusion, then all of the things that have been rumbling about this being the new format from now on, and just following the phone model of like, every couple of years there's going to be the S version, and then there will be the 5, and then the 5S, and we're just going to keep getting smaller cycles of incrementation.
But they're gonna keep being as expensive.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I kind of have seen some of that sort of stuff coming too. It's weird though how it's basically going to be, do you have the hardware to run it, kind of like a PC.
It just muddies the waters a lot, and I don't want to retread too much of the stuff we discussed in the
Episode
original.
Whenever.
I think it was episode 0 when this rumor like literally first was established. But just like there are so many shitty implications for the consumer in terms of just like having a 1-year lifespan potentially where your console is capable of running things to their fullest extent before it becomes obsolete to an extent.
Like I think it's gonna make PCs really well liked, and the thing is, for Microsoft, that's not a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like for Microsoft, it's a good move to get people to try and get on PCs.
Yeah.
But Sony?
The thing is, though, even PCs are going to move in this direction. Even like what universal Windows platform. So you've heard of that?
Yes.
So they're going to be moving more towards. I think what Microsoft has as its ideal ending is that you have to buy the consoles to play the games, or you have.
No,
you have to buy the games through their store.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
It's all unifying the Windows Live and Xbox Live services until it's just completely homogenous. Which, like you were saying, for Microsoft, that's like a clear end stage that they're working towards. Sony's path looks a lot more like muddied waters to me because they don't have a PC market anymore. Like they stopped making PCs I think 6 or 7 years ago. And they certainly wouldn't benefit from it as much as the people who are designing the operating system.
Here's how I think Sony could actually come out ahead on this. Is if Microsoft has the software end, if Sony tries to come in on the hardware end of the PC sales. Like if they try to get some kind of controlling share in like Radeon or Nvidia, probably Radeon because Nvidia is a bigger deal. Mm-hmm. But if they could get just get a little piece of the pie on hardware sales, because with the incrementing consoles now, generations are going to mean a lot less. You won't be able to do what I do and just get like a new graphics card at the start of every new generation and then you'll be set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
everything's going to look a lot more like the phone, which is what they're emulating, where it's just constant minuscule iteration. Although for this first one, it doesn't even sound like minuscule is really what they're going for. Like it seems like the jump is going to be pretty significant, at least for the Scorpio, which is the code name for the Xbox One successor. It sounds like they're going to have I think like 2.5 times the processing power and
jeez.
double the RAM. Like it sounds like a really substantial upgrade, which is and like
That is
kind of in the ballpark of what
Yeah.
people were expecting
That's
out of
crazy.
this. Yeah, it's really crazy. Kind of in the ballpark of what people were expecting out of these consoles in the first place.
Whoa.
What?
I just had like an idea.
Yeah.
So the Fallout 4 modding tools still aren't out yet.
No, they are.
Yeah,
they
Xbox mods came out, I think, last week or maybe the
Oh,
week before.
never mind.
Okay.
I was thinking like, what if they knew the whole time and they were gonna wait till Scorpio came out or the Neo or
Yeah.
whatever the fuck?
But yeah, I think your
That would have been a cool conspiracy.
I think your idea about like getting a piece of the hardware pie in terms of GPUs, I think there's some merit to that, especially since
Well, so there's kind of this thing where the graphical processing unit has moved off of. It's a separate unit from the CPU right now,
yeah,
but they're working like Intel has been doing a lot of stuff. Like they're trying to move back towards
integrated.
they're
Combined.
integrated graphics on the.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
realize.
got a hell of a stigma against it though. Like even the mention of it made me feel a little bit sick.
Because
It
it's
sucks.
like it sucks
Yeah.
right now.
But there's a foreseeable technological leap that will enable that.
I think
you
that is probably the direction they'll head, is that kind of moving back towards the something like that on the CPU itself.
Mhm.
You know, if Sony goes for the second tier hardware producers like AMD and Radeon and all that, and then uses, I don't know, that's a lot of theoretical shit.
Yeah.
But, like if they could make another, like AMD, I feel like has not been a real competitor with Intel for a few years now. Like Intel has just been making the better CPUs hands down.
Yeah, for
Yep.
for CPU for sure. Yeah.
So if like Sony could come in, bring Radeon up, or not AMD, fuck
Yeah.
me. But if they bring AMD up, make them more of a competitor, and then they start fighting each other over graphics card shit. At the very least, that might be very good for like.
Competition's good for the consumer always.
Yeah.
Like it'll shake things up. That would definitely be interesting.
Yeah, the worry is that competition's kind of dying in the
Yeah.
industry, like really
Yeah.
bad.
So I
Really
don't know.
bad.
Maybe in a roundabout way, that ends up being how people benefit. Is the console format just straight up dies outside of Nintendo because they're off in La La Land.
Oh man,
And-
Nintendo's cool though.
Everybody, no, I'm saying they would probably keep doing their thing.
Yeah.
And everybody who's currently on the Sony or Microsoft bandwagon 10 years from now just is a PC gamer, but there are more options and more competition and
But they,
prices are lower than ever.
yeah, I could see them buying it more as like, I mean, the average PC gamer nowadays, they build their PC, you know?
Mhm.
It's going to be more like pre-built stuff like the Steam machines.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what Steam was going at when they started that.
Yeah, and then promptly just abandoned that whole thing
Yeah.
because VR was cool.
Yeah, they have started adding games to. They added a section of my library devoted to VR.
Yeah, any
Yeah.
game that you have that's already VR compatible is kind of like highlighted down there, which is, I think, really smart of them because it'll cause quite a handful of people, I think, to be like, oh shit, I already have like 5 games that work on VR. Maybe I should consider this. But that's more of like a 2 years down the line thing when VR isn't so insanely
I
expensive.
was really
really
excited
bad.
when VR came out, not because I had VR, but I really wanted to play some of the stupid like VR games on my computer, and then you can't play it without the headset. Of course.
Oh yeah,
I was like, oh
it's
cool, I can
kinda
just play it.
restrictive in some of those cases. It's all over the board though, which is kind of why VR is interesting as somebody who has no intention of buying it. It's just like the Wild West right now. But speaking of VR, like I think one other path they could go is Sony's really like ramping up towards PSVR right now. Maybe polar opposite direction, like away from homogenizing towards the PC marketplace. They really double down on PlayStation being its own thing, but now PlayStation is the like premier entry level VR because as it is, PSVR is the cheapest way that, like, literally the least expensive way that anyone could possibly get into VR. You spend like $350-ish for a console, and then I believe PSVR is another $400 on top of that, or $500 with the bundle that has the controllers and stuff. So compare that to like $800 for a Vive or $600 for an Oculus, and then the Oculus doesn't even come with the controllers and sensors, and your computer that you need to run those, which is not fucking cheap because VR is hard to run. Like, maybe Sony 10 years from now is just the company that makes games that don't look that dazzling or run at 120 FPS, but
every single one of them is VR.
Everyone is VR, and everyone hits that minimum spec of like the 90 FPS experience that you need to not have like motion sickness and that kind of thing. So it's like this is the VR that like your dad buys because he's got a job and he's not playing VR constantly. He wants to experience it every once in a while and that kind of thing.
Kind of like a get home from work.
It'll be like
VR.
the Wii successor in a way, because I think
Yeah,
that's what
actually,
VR is like already
smart.
in a lot of senses. Like if you look at some of the most interesting VR software that's out right now, it's a lot of minigame collections like the Valve, I think it's called the Lab or something like that, where it has like a few different experimental small games. Like a lot of it is like non-traditional game formats that heavily rely on like the room scale and motion control and that kind of thing. I think VR becomes the next, potentially becomes the next social gaming novelty that like breaches that barrier towards like the mass populace, like the Wii.
Yeah, I mean everyone wants it.
Yeah.
Like they just can't get it yet for cheap.
It's just not feasible. But maybe the PS Neo 2 comes out at $400 and runs games better than a 1080 does right now, and the headset is still $400, and you're in for $800. That's the price of a Vive right now.
Yeah,
that's
I
not
could
ludicrous.
see
I don't think
it becomes the new nursing home fad.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh god,
I mean,
that
as
would
long
make
as
a lot
they
of
don't
sense.
tip over and crack the headset.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Are there going to be straps that you have to put on your head so you don't fling it at the TV?
Yeah. There's warnings.
I mean, there
Why we
probably
still-
will be because you're like walking around.
Yeah.
I'm gonna what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rich.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a house with a huge room, and it's gonna have padded walls, and there will be someone to keep an eye on me
and then he's
as
gonna
I
sit in the
start playing.
corner.
I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna do my VRs. There'll be someone to watch me. I'm gonna make sure I'm okay. Somebody to restrain me in case I'm going a little
there's
crazy.
only like one part of this that doesn't sound like it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And that was the first part.
What?
And then you just move into the insane part.
Yeah. No, that all checks out.
Like
I
everything
felt
was
like
I was
maybe-
like,
found the
if you go
future of
crazy
VR.
enough, you're living VR all the time.
Exactly.
For free.
That's true.
you just have to go
Very
off
economical.
the fucking wall insane.
Yeah. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Try schizophrenia on. I don't know.
Yeah. But I guess I want to ask you guys, like, we're not the best test group for polling in this
we are.
situation because none of us are in consoles right now. Like,
Oh shit, you're right actually.
the question, if Jordan were here, that would be interesting. And if any of you listening are invested right now in Xbox One or PS4, and you've been a console player for the bulk of your gaming career, I'd be really interested to hear what you guys think. But
We're kind of in our ivory tower here.
Yeah.
I mean, I can kind of put myself in that position because I was so into consoles for the longest time. Like, I have a PS4, and up until the PS4 release, up until just a year ago, really, I didn't have anything to do with PC gaming. But
And you joined us.
But this is kind of the last straw for me personally. I think this trend, if this ends up all being true and this is the cycle they move on with, I think this is the nail in the coffin for me buying consoles in the launch window and picking up all the release exclusives and that kind of thing. I think I'm going to be one of those people from now on that when the PS5 Neo comes out, I'll pick up a PS4 Neo and play through all the shit that was really intense and was worth all the exclusives that were worth getting the console for back when this late when the system is half its price.
I mean, at that point though, are there going to be exclusives?
I mean, yeah, they have tons of development studios under their belt. Microsoft, no, because Microsoft has been moving all their exclusives to PC, but Sony exclusives I mean, they own those studios. So as long as PlayStation is a thing, PlayStation exclusives are going to be a thing. And that's why I bought a PS4, because I want to play Uncharted, because I want to play The Last of Us, that kind of thing.
Has Sony made any move to try to put some of their stuff on?
I mean, there's a
PC?
few occasional things that are Sony published, that like Helldivers made a PC release, but I believe that's
like they don't have a store.
That was the Magica studio, so that was like a second party kind of thing. Like they don't own them.
Okay.
But nothing that I can think of, no like first party Sony owned properties have ever made it to PC.
Like
period. Like
yeah.
I'm racking my brains. Correct me if I'm wrong, but. Yeah, I don't know. Both of you guys are like not really planning on getting a PS4.
Nope.
I was until this happened.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at. I don't want to put the answer before people, but for me personally, like yeah, it's just like why would I get invested in this marketplace that is now just equivalent, although slightly lesser in some ways, to the PC market. Like now I am getting the PC experience without the freedoms and versatility of a PC. Whereas before you could look and say like, this is something that PC games will never do. And now that's not the case.
Yeah.
The last one I ever bought was a PS3.
Mm-hmm.
It's the last time I bought a console, and that was like 4-5 years ago now.
Man, I get so much use out of my PS3 still. Like a lot of the stuff I would use a PS4 for.
Yeah.
I have my PS3 for it.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Any people who are like still up to date on consoles and had intended to like buy the PS5 on launch and play all those exclusives, or buy the Xbox 2 or whatever the fuck they would name that thing, because what do you follow up Xbox
the
One?
The Xbox One.
Actually,
double.
I could see them doing like the Xbox 2.
Yeah. But
it's not an actual like 2. It's like
the Xbox 180.
Yeah. Xbox 2.0. But yeah, to those people out there, like I'm very curious, like if you're willing, write in and let us know, like does this change your plans on keeping up with the console cycle, or are you going to buy the PS Neo and sell your PS4, or like follow an upgrade plan if they do something like that? I mean, I know like if they're emulating the cell phone model, maybe they'll have like trade-in opportunities like cell phones.
Which will create a lot of waste, I think.
Yeah, that is the kind of most fucked up aspect of this, is like the technological waste just amplifies so much. Like if you're throwing away consoles every 2 years instead of every 6, like that's scary.
That's bad.
Just like ecologically speaking.
Yeah. Because like they're a lot bigger than phones. That's kind of my hot take.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be more
off the cuff. This seems a little bit detrimental to our planet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they would definitely be like handed down. It'd be like this chain.
Yeah.
Of like,
if anything, this is like one of the other things. Like we also talked about that GameStop publishing brands like a month or so ago.
Yeah.
This is maybe another like thing that keeps, one of the other vestiges that keeps GameStop alive is like, buy your PS Neo here for $250 because the PS Neo 3 is out this week.
Ooh.
Or whatever. That's the other thing, is like, what does the naming convention become? How do you explain this to like the most like lowest common denominator?
Parents buying Christmas gifts.
Yeah.
Well, you don't, because then they just have to get the next one that they messed up. And they just had like, oh, I got the PlayStation Quattro. I needed the PlayStation Magnifico.
Yeah, like that.
Whoopsie. I guess I'll just give it this to him. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually that does, because parents are really used to that generational thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's what parents did. They like, okay, we know there's a new one this Christmas, right?
Yeah. There hasn't been a new one for 5 years. Like we've seen this on the horizon for a while now.
Yeah.
And you can like budget it. You can like be like, okay, yeah, I figured this out. We can get it for them. Mm-hmm. And that's
what do the poor parents do? And it's like there's one every year.
Yeah. And from kind of in that same line of thought, like from a I guess a more emotional perspective, like I don't know, it's cool when new console generations come out. Like it's like an exciting, like it feels.
It's like holy shit! It feels like you're on a new frontier.
Yeah, it's like Jesus fucking Christ. This is what games look like now, and that's just not going to happen anymore. Like
this is a expected improvement.
Yeah,
very well.
Everything. I mean, there's still going to be amazing. Like Uncharted 4s and that kind of thing will still come out where it's like, holy shit, can we step back for a second and acknowledge how great this looks? But there's not going to be like an industry-wide escalation like you've seen in the past, which is kind of a bummer.
Yeah, and like the thing is it was also cool to see developers become more used to working with the system.
Yeah.
Like The Last of Us at the end of the PS3 generation.
Yeah.
If you look at some of the games from the beginning, you're just like, that's fucking insane.
Yeah, I recently watched Giant Bomb had this really amazing feature, a technological retrospective on the Uncharted series. They had one of the developers from Naughty Dog come in, and they played through like 15 minutes of all 4 Uncharted titles. And when they booted up Uncharted 1, I was like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah, you
this
don't
looks
even
like a
realize.
PS2 remaster.
Yeah.
Like, when this game came out, I was blown away, and now I can't even fathom it.
But it's the same hardware, which
Yeah.
makes it fucking cool, because you're just like, these guys mastered how to use the power of the cell processor.
Yeah,
I
they
was
like
kinda-
studied every intricacy of these quirky machines.
That's
Yeah.
the other thing. Like, you had these huge jumps in hardware between them. So, like, they would be in development for a long time coming up with their new plan, right?
Yeah.
So what happens now is just like, oh, we throw more memory in there. We got a new
Yeah,
chip.
it becomes very
Yeah.
by the numbers, which like that also has like dozens of benefits, obviously, because then like you can for a studio that like has to have their ducks in a row and like track sales rigidly, like you can predict more accurately what development cycles will be like and that kind of thing because you're used to everything. But it takes a little bit of the magic out of it, you know?
Yeah, like, you know, it feels like you're getting like a constant 60 to 80% out of the system, and then it's gone, and then there's a new one, and it's got,
Yeah.
you know,
Well,
a
it kinda
gigabyte more.
Screws over collectors too, doesn't it? Because there's people that
Yeah,
collect every one.
console collection is going to become like nobody. Well, I won't say nobody because it's a big world, but most people don't collect video cards. It's not the same charm as like here's my
Well,
shelf.
I mean, some of the packaging for them I would collect if I had the presence of mind too when I was a kid, because old video card packages were
Yeah.
fucking phenomenal.
They were.
Yeah.
The
It was
new
always
ones
like-
are always like
They're boring. It's just like, green and black.
Green and black and silver.
yeah.
And before it was like, I'm a wizard,
Yeah,
and
there
like
was
wizards
goblins
like
and
fighting a
wizards
goblin and a demon, and
Yeah, fair enough.
and it was like, behold the new, and then would like show a screenshot of an actual game, and it would be like fucking 5 polygons.
Yeah, but you're right. I don't know. I don't know of any like. Well, there are definitely probably insane people out there that have every fucking graphics card that ever came out, but
I've got a Voodoo too.
It's not as iconic as like this is my Nintendo room and I
Yeah.
have the Famicom and the NES and the Super Famicom and SNES
Okay,
and
well,
that kind of thing and every
How,
system.
how sad would it be if you were like if you went on an OkCupid date with someone, and they're like, all right, well, you know, they charmed you, they got you into their house, and then they bring you, this is my NVIDIA room.
just
Yeah,
like
it doesn't
piles
have quite
of
the same
graphics cards.
charm.
It's just like, check out this one, it's got a wizard on it, and you're just like, that's very cool.
Yeah. Anyway, I feel like we
Brent's
kind of covered a lot of that, but like I said, if anybody listening has anything to contribute, like I'm just curious what like the typical console gamer thinks of this whole thing, which unfortunately we don't have one here to speak on their behalf. So,
As someone who played a lot of the PS2, pisses me off.
yeah.
Fuck
But,
this shit.
Brett, what is your very concise,
Your real
and easy
topic.
to convey topic?
That was my real topic.
What? Yeah. Okay.
What's the bit, Brett?
Well, recently, you know, like, it's been kind of a dry season for anime. Last season we had Erased, which was really cool. But, you know, it's been a slow season. Nothing cool has happened.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode of every anime this season. None of them impressed me. They all made me mostly irritated because they suck. But, so, you know, I went back and I watched an anime that I really liked. And it was called Paranoia Agent. It's a Satoshi Kon joint. You know,
I believe that those are words.
he is a very, very, very good anime man.
Okay.
And, like...
Animamen.
And yes, that's what they call him, the Animamen. And, yeah, I just... Like, as I was watching it, it was just kind of like, you know, I know what parts I like. I know what parts I don't really like. I didn't notice every detail in my last viewing, and there's a lot of detail packed into every scene. And, like, I just had a good time, and I didn't have to think too hard. Like, I knew exactly the themes it was going for, so I could just kind of sit back and let them hit me.
Yeah.
And I realized I never do that anymore. Mm-hmm. Like, we're playing Alpha Protocol, and it's the first time I'm kind of doing that with a game in a long while. But, like, I think that with the onset of, like Netflix, Spotify, like Google Books and shit, there's so many ways to get constant new entertainment in our lives in any medium we want. And I think I just realized that most of the new entertainment tends to be shitty. And I spend a lot of time and energy trying to enjoy shitty garbage. Like,
okay.
And, like, obviously there are some that are good, but that is kind of different.
Diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, diamonds in the rough. But, it's kind of like, with the stuff that you like, you can sit back and you can enjoy it. It feels kind of homey. Like it's kind of like, I've returned and I like this. Whereas now, like, stuff that really grabs you, stuff that, like, gets you on, like, an emotional level or is, like, really fucking cool to you. I don't know about you guys, for me that has become extremely rare because I have seen so many fucking stories, so many movies, so much anime, that novelty just doesn't do it for me anymore. Like, there is no novelty. There's nothing new under the sun. And I'm fucking 22 years old, so that's why I've been kind of thinking, like, maybe I should just go back, appreciate some of my old shit. Now, I think I'm doing okay, considering how unfocused this was in my head before this. Am I doing all right?
You're doing all right.
I'm kind of getting what you're getting at.
Okay.
Well,
go ahead.
I'm saying that there's also a lot of content, there's lifetimes of content that were made before you were born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like stuff that is just...
There's oceans of stuff.
Yeah, I think the real, like, X factor in this problem is, like, social media and internet news and that kind of thing. Like, now, every morsel of new content in every medium is, like, put in your face at all times. Whereas before, like, you could go your whole life without being aware of 90% of the cultural changes.
Hey, get it in your face.
Yeah.
There's content that's hidden under, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah, but, like, that's the thing. I'm going for that, too. Like I said, I watched literally the first episode of every anime in this season. Yeah. That was like 30 episodes.
Yeah.
It still sucked. Yeah. And that's unfortunate. Mm-hmm. But, like, if you look back, there's a lot of stuff that's just like, no, this is fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, everyone agrees this is good. You will probably get something out of it. And then you watch it and you're just like, I think just rewatching is a lot more pleasurable than a lot of people think. Like,
yeah, I can kind of see where you're coming from, and then I differ in a few ways as well. Like, I definitely think, like, with TV in particular, I personally find that, like, quality is kind of few and far between. For me, yeah. I'm not that big of a TV guy. There'll probably be, like, 2 or 3 shows a decade that I'm like, oh, wow, okay, I'm watching this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, the last time there was something that really grabbed me was The Good Wife, and that just ended, and before that it was Breaking Bad, but then there's like a 5-year gap again. It's like there are very few shows that I will watch for more than like a couple episodes.
A lot of shows kill it by going for too many seasons.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
The other thing.
That's why I think anthologies are cool. But.
Yeah, more specific to TV is like, they don't know when to let things lie. But
that's kind of why I've gravitated more towards anime. Because anime is, it does tend to go on, but it's never one to go on for, like, 200 episodes, unless it's one of the very few that are like, oh, we're the insanely popular manga, whatever the fuck. And, like, they usually go 12 episodes or 24 episodes, and then they're done.
Yeah. That's one thing I really love about British television, is that you'll get, like, a 4-episode season, and it's like, holy shit, this is, like, a perfect arc of character development and exposition and intrigue, and then it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's
Yep.
done.
Like Sherlock and Black Mirror.
Yeah, or Luther is just like 4-episode seasons, 3-episode seasons. You got everything you need out of it. Come again next year, maybe, or we'll just stop after season 3. There were only 12 episodes of that show. It was excellent.
Well, you can only do so much character development. So.
Yeah, well, that's the problem with so much American TV is just like you get to a point where you're just retreading the same character arcs.
The Office.
Like True Detective, like 8 episodes, that was enough to tell an entire story.
And they just abandon all that, which
Well,
is cool.
yeah, then they started over.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
And
on
it
your
also
mythology
means
point.
that if you have a bad season, your next season, it doesn't affect your
you
next
come
season.
back from it.
Yeah, like, I mean, True Detective season 2, people have opinions.
Yeah.
There's one really good one I don't think either of you have seen. It's called like a Young Doctor's Notebook, I think it's called.
No, never heard of it.
It's John Hamm and Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay.
Super good.
I will have to check that
You'll
out.
have to remind me of the name later. Or
Yeah.
I can look in the show notes.
Yeah, look at the show notes.
I'm not going to put that in the show notes. I'm going to forget. But you should message it to me because I will check that out. If I actually have it written somewhere because I'm scatterbrained as fuck.
Well, it's just it's 2 seasons, 3 episodes each.
Perfect.
It's just
Yeah.
like an hour.
Honestly, like, I guess this is, like you said yourself, is kind of a broad topic, so we're kind of jumping around from angle to angle. But, like, the issue of, like, the modern constant stream of new media from every angle has made me all the more seek out and appreciate very small, accessible, bite-sized experiences.
Yeah.
Like, I'm much more inclined to play 5 2-hour games than 1 10-hour game in this day and age.
Yeah, I kind of feel that.
I
Like,
can see that.
yeah. Or if I am going
You
to play a
said it.
10-hour game, I would just like to be. I'd like it to be one I know.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
can't. I can't gamble on a game that's going to be 12 hours long anymore. Like, I don't have it in me because of. I mean, it's twofold. One is like an internal pressure of like there's so much shit that I know I'm gonna like out there that I want to I compel myself to go get to all of it. And then there's also like the societal pressure of like keeping up with the Joneses kind of thing where like everyone's watching Game of Thrones when it comes out, and if you don't watch Game of Thrones on that day, you're not going to be part of the discussion.
What season is Game of Thrones on now?
I don't even know. I fell off in season 2, I think.
Oh, dude, nice.
I dropped it once they started going past where the books were and they started doing stuff, and then
You
they
didn't
said
agree.
I've heard people have liked what they're doing outside of the books, though.
I've heard that from idiots.
Ooh,
Oh.
shit.
So
Laying down the gauntlet.
Harsh words.
no,
man.
the show actually did kind of. It's gone.
I didn't
a little,
realize
like-
George R. R. Martin was an idiot because he's been consulting on all the new stuff thoroughly.
Well, I mean,
He's every author is stupid.
that's
what I've learned in my
Yeah.
scatter shot attempts at writing garbage.
from the one author I know.
Yeah,
Well,
comes
yeah,
from the heart.
I think there's also kind of like shows go on too long.
Yeah.
Game series go on too long.
This is true. I've definitely gotten much more in the habit of like, with a few exceptions where like something's very story focused, like a Mass Effect or something like that. I've gotten much more comfortable with just like letting an entry or two slip by me. Like I don't need to play like Battlefield Hardline, and I don't need to play.
I forgot that existed until you brought it up.
I don't need to play Modern Warfare 3. Like that's
Why
fine.
don't you?
I'll pick up the like next one, or maybe even a year after that. I can handle the break because there's a lot of other shit that is completely new, like by unheard of developers, that is much more worth my time.
And I think that's just because, like, maybe in a way, just because we're like, we're older, and it's not even that we don't have the time; it's that we know we can use it better.
Yeah.
Maybe
Like,
that's it.
because like,
What do you young listeners think?
Yeah.
You kids that aren't 22.
yeah. I mean, honestly though, is like when you're a kid, you'll play. Like I played probably 700 hours of
You just
Gary's
don't know
mod.
it's shit.
Yeah, I played 700 hours of Gary's fucking mod.
Yeah, I mean, it's the classic issue of do you have more time or do you have more money? Because when you're a kid, you have very little money, i.e. very few games, but a hell of a lot of free time to spend on them. So you'll get, I'll spend 1,000 hours on Diablo 2, but I think I played Diablo 3 for like 70, that's a lot of time. Like I'm not going to say like, oh, 70's nothing, I got ripped off, because those people piss me off to no end. But 70 is infinitesimal compared to 1,000.
Yeah, I think I've probably played Diablo 3 close to 200.
Yeah, I didn't get the expansion was the thing. Or I think I did, but I never actually played through the full thing.
I think we played it together.
I didn't complete it, I know.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I dabbled in it. But yeah, I kind of fell off. There's just other shit for me to do at this point, which is why, like, I guess wrapping around a bit more directly towards the, like, going back to old things versus new things, like, I typically have one experience at a time that is, like, my mainstay. Like, right, for a while now, it's been Dota 2. Like, I'm always going to go back to Dota 2 until some unforeseeable event happens that makes me no longer
Dota 2
love
has
the
been
game.
deleted from the Steam servers.
No! But, like, you know what I mean? Where, like, there's one
That'd be a
game
war.
that is, like, the staple, and I'll kind of switch off between, like, the flavor of the week and this mainstay that I know I'm going to have a good time with and that kind of thing. So, and before that it was Company of Heroes 2, and before that it was some other thing. There's always going to be something that, like, sticks around for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, I like to keep this list of movies, books, games that I haven't gotten around to yet.
I have a very, like...
That sounds really stressful.
Yeah, no, I have this list that's called So Much to Do, So Little Time. You're
Yeah.
Going
No,
to
it
Die.
should be so much to do, so much to see.
No, it's so much to do,
Both
so little
happening.
time. You're going to die.
Yeah,
So-
that's about it.
Oh, you can just put in Memento Mori to make yourself seem more like studied.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Or,
I ain't no
like, you play
studied.
anime games.
I ain't no studied plebe like you.
I think you'll find it the pleb. Wait, did we do that bit during the
Yes.
actual podcast?
No, that was earlier.
All right, look in the show notes to get past this bit.
Oh,
Okay. So speaking of things that have gone on for a long time,
you know?
how long has this first segment gone on?
We're not doing too bad.
I thought this was going to come out to be way longer than it ended up being, because we finished segment 2 of 3 at like 50 minutes, and now we're only at 13, so...
Oh.
13?
13 minutes into
Oh,
the
in
segment.
the segment?
We're at an hour and 3, but...
Okay, I feel like I should close it out.
Yeah, close it out. Oh,
Do you want to put a bow on this?
Yeah, put a bow on it.
Or did you have
we
something?
didn't have any emails this week, I don't think, right?
No,
No, we did.
We'll get to
We
that.
did.
in a
Oh,
second.
okay.
We did.
I got it pulled up.
Once, actually. I think you guys would be very surprised. But
I'm a very obscure individual.
to put an end to this farce, I would say if you're ever just on like a night, you know, it's just nighttime, you got all the lights out, you're watching anime and just feeling sad about your life, and it's just washing over you, and a camera zooms in on your face, and you just see
Everyone's been there.
ultimate despair. Put on some Paranoia Agent.
All right.
It's a good show.
So emails.
Emails, Brent.
Emails.
It's the future.
It is.
Oh, can you actually put that in at some point? It's the future.
I mean,
I
it's,
mean,
in. It's in the show.
No, like put it in your bag of tricks.
Okay, I can pull that and set it aside.
I want to use that forever.
Okay.
Okay.
Fine.
That can be our game club intro.
That will outlive Brent because he'll be too busy trying to read all those books.
Don't try to force it.
You killed it.
No.
No, I'm
There were
deleting
laser
source.
noises.
No, they weren't.
That's what makes the future.
That was just stupid. Actually,
I didn't actually look at the title of this podcast or of this email until just now. Jordan needs to work on his grammar.
Yeah.
So yeah, emails. We got one letter from an individual you guys might recall.
Whose name we just said.
One Jordan Havlick, and it is titled "Game I Want the Doom Treatment."
But Doom treatment's in quotes.
Yes. I think you meant to say "Game I Want to Get the Doom Treatment" or something.
He probably was typing it really fast and
Yeah.
just missed it.
So,
He just-
I gotta get this out there.
Like everything that I ever said.
He was just so compelled to write into sharewarepodcast@gmail.com to share his thoughts
good
that
one.
he couldn't
Where was
bother.
that again, Josh?
sharewarepodcast@gmail.com, or commenting on the SoundCloud or Facebook page that he couldn't be bothered to actually write full sentences.
Sharewarepodcast@gmail.com.
Do we have Twitter?
Oh, we
Jordan
should.
does. That's in the long description, remember?
Oh yeah. Check out our long description, which has been referred to by our own Josh as a novella.
Anyway.
And fuck him, because that's the one thing I've ever contributed to this podcast. So of course it's gonna be long.
One thing.
So, game I want the Doom treatment. A game I want to be remade in the modern era is Gunsmoke, an NES and arcade game set in the Old West. It's a top-down on-rails shooter that plays perfectly still perfectly still, but could use a few additions, like an upgrade system between levels. You find stores in each level to buy weapons already. Different horses. The horse in the original counted as an extra bit, or as an extra hit.
It's a bit.
We have enough bits. And maybe 3D graphics akin to Bionic Commando Rearmed. That I can get behind. That was an amazing game.
I played that once.
The game is a cult classic.
The end.
He says the game is cult classic. Jordan, you're supposed to be the writer of the game.
Jesus.
So I imagine there are some fans out there, and the Old West genre is so dry that this could be an awesome addition. Yeah,
Is that a pun?
I think it could be. We're gonna give that one to Jordan. Good.
Oh,
pun.
Jordan, good pun.
Good one. Signed, your
good pun.
Yeah. Signed, your former co-host Jordan. P.S. I'm coming for you, Brent.
What did I do?
Replaced him.
He was accusing you of making him buy Alpha Protocol the other day. So I honestly don't know if he was. I'm coming for you, Brent or Brent.
You didn't say. I made him buy Alpha Protocol.
Yeah,
I think that was a typo.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. He might. I don't know if he's saying Brett or Brent.
Who knows? Yeah.
Nobody knows. That's the problem.
Yeah, I actually haven't played Gunsmoke, but I definitely agree about the Western point. Like, there's a couple indie things that have popped up here and there, like Westerado, but other than that, like in the AAA space, I think
Red Dead.
It was Red Dead and Call of War as Gunslinger, and that was it.
When was Red Dead? That was years ago.
Red Dead was like 2008?
It was back when the Euphoria engine was still holy shit.
Yeah.
So
a long time ago.
It was a while ago. I think it was like 6 or 7 years ago. Which is kind of
great
scary
game,
to think
though.
about. Yeah, man.
Wait, 6 or 7 years ago? That wouldn't even be 2008. How about that?
Yeah. Games that need the Doom treatment. Red Dead. Give me another Red Dead.
Oh, God, please. Actually, I've heard that is one of the whisperings for this year's E3, Red Dead 2.
That would be exciting.
For the PlayStation VR headset Neo, Triple HD.
Yeah. But yeah, also, any allusion to Bionic Commando Rearmed is an instant success for me, because that is... It's not quite the same thing, because that was a very faithful remake. It was like the same levels and everything, just with additional content. But that is definitely an example of taking a very, very old game and making it feel perfect on modern consoles. Or I guess not modern anymore, because it was PS3 360, but...
Question.
One of my favorite games of all time.
Do you want to like this podcast way more?
I would love to like this podcast more.
This is like the Bionic Commando Rearmed of all of our shitty old attempts at doing a podcast.
Well put.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, God.
So I think that wraps up the first half of this episode. Any other closing thoughts, guys?
No.
You're going to give Jordan a run for his money?
Yeah. Tell Jordan exactly what you think of him.
Antichamber's pretty cool, isn't it, Jordan?
Oh,
smack time!
He was talking about how he was playing Antichamber too, and it never got back to him.
How does it compare
I'm
to
just gonna get back to
Antichamber
him in the show. Antichamber is pretty fun, isn't it, Jordan? Regards, Brent.
All right. Well, thank you for writing in, Jordan. And we are going to come back after a short break with the game.
Good.
My antichrist, my anarchist,
Game Club segment of the podcast where I get to listen to these two idiots not understand what makes Alpha Protocol the greatest game ever made by mortal man.
The shooting's not very good.
That's true.
It's hard to sneak.
That's true.
I don't really like the graphics.
That's true.
The menus.
That's true.
There's a really heavy-handed discussion about the impact of your choices.
That's a joke within the game.
Yeah, it wasn't very funny though. It just felt weird.
That's your own
The
fault.
blonde guy's a douchebag.
Okay. Instead of making a joke about how we're fucking up the whole podcast already.
The reason the joke is so good is because we're actually fucking up the whole podcast, Brent. You understand?
I hate this.
It's a joke within the podcast.
I quit.
Yeah, it's a meta joke. You wouldn't get it. If you don't think it's funny, it's your fault.
I probably need another playthrough of this podcast.
Yeah, if you listen to this podcast a second time,
Podcast.
Yeah, it's kind
After
of a
you've played
podcast
through
now.
on the recruit route.
Yeah.
See, I'm playing recruit right now, and I say dumb things.
He's a verbal recruit. He hasn't fully learned how to speak.
So we are all playing recruit, correct?
Yeah.
Now, one thing you guys, I just want to clear the air about this. Not that there's really any air to clear, but that seemed like the thing to say at the time. I did have you guys start on recruit, and this is my first time starting on recruit since the first time I played the game. I forgot how much this game sucks.
Yeah.
Because on veteran, when you play veteran, you get the first 3 ranks of every single skill, and you can reallocate them as you want. So you can have level 5 in pistols
That sounds
right away.
awesome.
It does sound awesome. It sounds like a much better way to play the fucking game, huh?
It does.
Yeah, that's what
We
I got
should've
used to.
Stolen saves.
Kinda. But that's what I got used to. And that's why I enjoyed the game, because it was very easy.
Also, all the recruit specific dialogue makes you seem like you actually have a disability.
It's so
And
fucking
it's so
funny.
fun- yeah, it's-
Oh my god. It's so good.
Yeah, we'll get to a few specifics, I'm sure, in the near future. But
Oh man.
in case anyone listening is, for some reason, not playing through Alpha Protocol, do we want to give them a little bit of context for what's going on?
Alright.
We'll go
You're
play it.
Michael Thornton.
Yeah.
Go.
Go.
You
play
wake up in a medical facility, and you're just like, oh, they drugged me? And that's the first...
fail the drug test because my banter is so good.
No, that's another recruit-specific thing, which I really like.
Oh, even the dialogue you can't choose?
Some of it. Maybe just for that one, but if you're a veteran, he just goes like, oh, they drugged me. Okay.
Oh, that's actually pretty interesting. I thought that only when you pick a recruit option is it influenced by your recruit status.
I think it might be only there, but
Okay.
I think your dude says different things depending on what class you start as.
Okay.
But and you wake up and you're like, yeah, you failed a drug test, and then God comes down, smacks you in the face for being an idiot, and then a thing starts ringing. You're learning the controls and going, these aren't that bad because it hasn't asked you to shoot yet, and so you go and you pick it up, and it's this woman named Weena Mang,
Yeah, that checks out.
and she's like,
Mina Wang.
hi, how are you? And if you're like me, you pick the swab option, and he's just like, I've got a really bad headache. I think I'm still coming down from these hot meds.
I think I picked the. I'm trying to remember what the recruit option was.
I was
There wasn't one for that.
No.
Okay, I picked
I
one
picked
and he said
professional.
something dumb.
okay. That's like
Probably
half of
swab.
the dialogue options.
Probably swab.
Yeah, that's half the dialogue options in this. I forgot what I picked, but he said something dumb.
I'm doing something very specific that will come up in the next episode.
Yeah.
I'm doing a very specific sort of playthrough, which means that I have to pick swab a lot
Yeah.
in the early parts of
I
this.
can imagine where that might lead in a few situations.
Oh my god! The thing about swab is, swab works if the people already like you.
Yeah.
If they already like
start
you,
with Suave.
yeah, you don't start with swab. You start with swab, and they're just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I mean, that's pretty natural too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like a real human interaction.
Like
It's
if
really
you showed
cool.
showed up to your first day of work and you were talking suave to everyone, they'd be like,
Hi, are you ready for work?
Which-
I don't know. Are you ready? Are you ready for me to work?
Which
What?
to kind of undo us putting the cart before the horse, this is a an action RPG where you are a spy.
Yeah.
And all the dialogue options are cringy as fuck, or suave as fuck, or smart as fuck.
I actually have a bit of trivia regarding the dialogue options. I first read this in a Game Informer article about the game back in forever ago. And the 3 dialogue options that you generally have access to are after the 3 JBs. James Bond, Jason Bourne, and whatever the 24 guy is, Jack Bauer.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
So,
actually a pretty cool way to take it. Yeah,
Suave.
aggressive, suave, professional.
Yep.
okay.
So Bourne is professional, of course. Bauer is suave, and but yeah, and like that's actually the perfect way to consider these.
Yeah.
Like James Bond, of course, would be like a mix of professional and suave, and a James Bond that was always suave all the time, everyone would fucking hate him.
Yeah.
Oh my god, you guys owe it to yourselves to play a suave playthrough after this.
I will definitely check it out. I have actually just recently started introducing a little bit of suave into some of my discussions, but
A little suave, just a little taste.
A little sprinkle.
yeah, dab was suave.
Swab. A swab of.
There are so
Suave,
many.
suave.
Yeah.
There are so many suave options that just leave you going, ooh. Just
Yeah. I mean, the recruit ones too.
the recruit ones are so good. Anyway, and so she's like, "I'm here to help you. You were drugged. Go. How are you gonna get past this guard?" And you can either be like, "I'm gonna throw this fire extinguisher through the thing," or you can be like, "Trigger an alarm," or you can just be like,
You tell me.
there's an option that says ignore, and I've never actually picked it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I always think about it, but I'm always considering like, okay, well, but
That sounds stupid as fuck.
like it's really good because it's just like improvise, start the alarm, break through it, or just ignore. And I really want to pick ignore next playthrough.
Huh.
Yeah, which the dialogue system, I guess the best comparison I can make is it's actually a lot like Fallout 4 in that you have 4 options at a time. They're all assigned to face buttons if you're using controller. We're all using mouse and keyboard, I believe.
Mm-hmm. You can still use WASD.
Yeah, I do that sometimes. And if I want to change it up,
Yeah,
do something a little fresh, WASD,
absolutely.
experimental.
That
But
WASD
you only...
was talking about.
Yeah. You typically only have like 1 or maybe like 2 word descriptions of what you're going to say, and it's generally just like the tone of how it's going to come across or how you're trying to come across.
Mm-hmm.
Which so for a game like Fallout where like half the time all you know that your response is going to be is that it's sarcastic, like that really doesn't work for that kind of game because you're trying to convey a lot of specific information or trying to extract information out of NPCs or make specific choices, and it's just like a really shitty, not even distillation, I guess, just like reduction to the point of pointlessness.
Yeah.
Of
Dumbing down.
dialogue
It's
systems.
nonsense.
Yeah, it's a dumbing down of the system.
It's so that people can get back to shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is the opposite of what you want to do in Alpha Protocol, which
Yeah.
is why it's much better in Alpha Protocol.
Yeah, in Alpha Protocol, well, and it's not just better because you want to like stick with the dialogue system. The way the conversations flow, like you're constantly picking in real time. It's like kind of Walking Dead-esque, where like there's a timer moving mid-conversation, so you can't just stop and do I want to be suave? You have to pick while they're saying their thing. Like, you don't even get time afterwards usually.
Yeah.
And it works because you're flying by the seat of your pants in kind of 2 ways. You're trying to be like, shit, I want to be suave, and then he has to kind of like he comes up with some bullshit to say. It's kind of the feeling I get a lot, and that's why picking suave most of the time is shit.
Yeah.
Well-
Fucking great.
And the other thing is, it's kind of like you do an answer, but sometimes it's more than just that one answer. It's kind of his whole tone he's setting for the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like, there's sometimes when like, I picked aggressive like once because I thought it was funny in the situation, but like I picked aggressive, and like he says something, I'm like, oh, that's not too bad. And then I forget who it was. Somebody says something.
Probably Darcy.
It probably was Darcy. They say
Yeah.
something back to me, and then I turn around and say something like terrible, and I'm like, whoa!
Yeah. Okay, aggressive, accurate.
Got it.
I'll tear out your fucking throat, Darcy.
But yeah, it's cool because we'll get to this in a bit, but there's like a conversation where your superior officer is explaining
Fucking Westridge.
he's explaining dialogue and how it like impacts your missions and that kind of thing. And basically the gist of it is like it's style is substance in this situation. Like it's not about what you're saying so much as how you're coming across when you're saying it. You're hired because you're a master social manipulator, and your job is to get people in a state of mind that makes them malleable and useful to you in missions.
He calls you a sociopath off the bat.
Yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
Which is cool and also perfect for a video game and a role-playing game specifically, wherein a lot of people like to just do shit that they would never do in real life, and this conceit kind of lets you live out any dumb spy fantasy you have to the fullest.
Yeah. And it gives you quite a variety of them. Like, you can just be like, I'm a fucking psychopath, but I'm also a spy. And it fits.
Yeah, and on one hand, it like, you could, like, on one hand, it's lazy writing because it just makes everything accessible to them, but it's also smart writing because a lot of video game protagonists are sociopathic. If you're gonna do that, at least justify it and play into that instead of like failing to make something with a little bit more pathos.
And in this case, I think that like sometimes lazy writing is good writing depending on all the writing that surrounds it.
Yeah.
And like in this case, the writing in this game is pretty phenomenal. Like there's a lot of like it's one of the few games that had secrets and things I didn't like things I wanted to find out. Which is pretty rare. Usually it's just like, oh, that was a secret. Okay. Like, I was actually shocked by some of the things that happened in this game. But, pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, so I guess we should kind of go back to the beginning and
roll
like,
it back.
But
you got out of the
before we even talk to Mina, there's a little bit of a flashback with the plane.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forget that. It's unskippable every time I play, so every time
You just block it out.
I'm just like, huh.
Eyes glazed.
Yeah.
So that is a
Back. That, right?
It's a flash forward.
Oh,
that's
okay.
So that's like
so
you're in the
flashing.
room.
Yeah.
So you're like in the room being interrogated, and then I think you're having these flashbacks about what you did.
Yeah. So
that is how it's written.
It's a flash forward to like the most future portion of the story where you're being interrogated by the CEO of Halbeck.
Yep.
Who
Not Halliburton at all.
No. It's this weapons manufacturer and like private Are they private military or is it just like production of tools? And
I think you could probably assume that they have. No, they aren't private military.
They don't have troops, but they create the supplies and the means. So
they have one on retainer.
Okay. Oh, all right. That makes sense. But basically, he's detailing your failings on your operation. The operation being the contents of the game that we're about to play through, and then it flashes to a little bit earlier where you see this jet plane, presumably civilian, being obliterated by this like splitting multi-target missile. This like very advanced weapon.
Yeah.
That was apparently lost. Or misplaced, or stolen.
Yeah, I think stolen was
the terminology.
So you fucked up.
Yeah.
And now you get to play your fuck up.
All of this is your fault.
Yeah, the whole game is you getting this plane blown up, inevitably.
Yeah. It actually, the plane goes down, I think, immediately.
Okay.
Like, the plane goes down before Thornton wakes up in Alpha Protocol.
Yeah.
So basically, the guy's stupid. Like,
wait,
the plane goes down before Thornton wakes up, even in the flashback.
Oh, so like that flash forward, he's describing an event that happened before.
Yeah.
You wake up.
Like he
that's
isn't
what I was
talking.
saying before when it starts at the very beginning with the plane crash.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
That was confusing.
The plane. Okay. I kind of forgot how confusing this is.
Yeah. So
at first blush, the airplane crash happens. It's the inciting incident of the story. That's why Thornton ends up going to Saudi Arabia to find the missiles that downed the plane.
But the interrogation is a flash forward.
The interrogation itself is a flash forward.
Yes. So to the audience, we apologize for making this slightly more confusing than it actually is in the game, but it's pretty confusing in the game the way they present it. Yeah, so it's plain, then waking up in the medical room, and then way later the interrogation.
Yeah.
The game.
Yeah.
The interrogation.
Yeah.
Yep.
But so in the medical room, you're breaking out, and you find that. Do you know at this? You know right away that you're in Alpha Protocol, right? Because doesn't Mina tell you?
Yeah, I think she's just like, hey, you're in Alpha Protocol. You got drugged.
Yeah, she I don't know if this is always how it goes, but like I was mostly doing like a professional thing because I just met this person, and I was not acting like a sociopath because I didn't realize I was one yet.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess that's
surreal.
That's kind of I guess a weird wrinkle in the storytelling.
It makes sense because like you said, when you're first meeting someone, of course you go professional, but then it gives you like that kind of reveal gives you license to start manipulating people.
There's sociopaths out there that don't know they're sociopaths.
Yeah.
Yeah, like me.
But no, I said okay.
But yeah, she explains that like you're part of the Alpha Protocol project. You're an agent on hand for them, and this is part of some kind of heavy-handed, not quite hazing, I guess, indoctrination. It's part of the onboarding procedure.
Yeah, I don't think she quite gets into it, but like in that sense, like she kind of tries to frame it as sort of like you need to get out of there.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't really tell you right away, but you just. You get introduced to the actual game part, and that's just a general tragedy.
So they should have introduced me to it a little later after I had a little more fondness.
Like after the game.
Yeah,
Once
ideally.
I've beaten it, so I don't have to do anything anymore.
So where do we start? The puzzles, the combat, the menus. What do we do?
Why don't you take menus?
You take the menus because you seem upset about the menus.
So the menus, I guess they come up like. Okay, I mean. First off,
in a mission, you're probably only looking at the menus like once or twice if you get lost. You
right.
don't see the map.
But
I didn't know there was a map for my first 5
You know what? I think we should talk about our intro to combat and puzzles first. Because I think your first
the first thing you
meeting
do
with
is
the
that
menu
guard.
is a little later.
Well, yeah. I mean, the guard. So you hit E 5 times and he goes down. If you're playing on easy, and you should be. And then that's it.
Or you just hit E when he's not looking and just jab him in the neck with the back of your hand.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it should take him down. It definitely looks like it should hurt, but fuck it. I don't care.
They don't give you a spacebar option on that guy, do they?
No, you don't have a knife or anything, so you can't kill him.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
There are knives in the game?
Well, not as such, but in like the Saudi Arabia section beyond that, you can kill people with the same thing. You just hit space instead of E.
Oh,
so you have the choice to be kind.
I still have never done that. I didn't realize that. I must have missed a prompt or something. But yeah, so you take that guy down, and then you have to unlock the door to get out of the medical ward.
Yeah.
And you are introduced to one of the myriad hacking puzzles in this game.
This is the one with the numbers, right?
Yeah.
The one with the numbers I actually kind of like.
I like it
puzzle
theoretically, but using the mouse to control the right code is ridiculously bad.
No, the numbers, like the one where you follow the lines.
Oh, the lines. Okay.
The lines one's is neat.
Yeah, no, the lines one is fine, and that's like I think I've seen that puzzle type in a couple other games before, but like it just works, and it's not as overdone as the lock picking rotate.
It's like a series of little mazes that you have to do quick.
Yeah. And the nice thing is that once you play the game enough, you barely even have to look.
Yeah, I'm sure you just memorize those patterns. But
I'm just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go.
Yeah, it's just like a number is up in this jumbled mess of lines, and you have to trail it down to the bottom where you like clip the circuit or whatever.
Yeah, I mean it's simplistic, but it's engaging. It's fun. It doesn't fuck with you. It's not a piece of shit.
It's like dessert amidst the pile of shit that you had to eat in every other portion of the game that isn't dialogue.
Unfortunately,
you had to eat a lot of shit.
Lot of shit.
It's the cherry on top of the manure. And then do we just want to talk about all the hacking mechanisms right now?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. So the lock picking.
The lock picking is fucking funny, and I can confirm. You guys both have your suspicions about this.
I didn't even think about the controllers when I was like, what the fuck is this puzzle? It's like
It's the most trivial thing ever.
Yeah.
So you have a cross section of the lock, and you see the tumblers.
You just move the mouse up or down to get it to it.
And I thought I was actually pissed off because I'm like, well, don't even make me do this stupid
Yeah,
little
it's
thing.
so trivial that they should just make it press E to go through.
Yeah.
But they just didn't do the work of removing those puzzles from the PC version.
On the console version, however, it actually is kind of fun because you use the triggers and you have to be like
It's analog, so you
it's
have to
analog.
press it at a specific degree.
Yep, and then it's like actually a fun mini game. And on the PC version, it's literally just, well, we don't know how to do it. Just move the thing, go.
It's a situation of like mouse controls precision making the game worse.
Yeah.
That is weird.
Which is it's fairly rare.
And honestly, I would say it's pretty common because on the console version of this game, I had nowhere near as much trouble as on the PC version.
yeah, in this game, stuff like that happens pretty frequently.
So you'd also mentioned that even if you try to use a controller,
It does not work.
No controller support for this game.
No, there is controller support, but it doesn't work for the lockpick.
Just the lock picking. So you have to reach over to your mouse and fix it.
It starts to work, but then by the time you get it to the pin, I don't know,
The correct level.
pinch point, it just breaks and then it goes back down.
oh man.
Like it just stops working.
Well,
And which is a shame because I really liked that mini game in the console version.
Yeah. But then finally, there's only 3, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Finally, you have what, like I was saying earlier when I was confused, I think is a cool puzzle design, but really shitty implementation on the PC. You have this big grid of rapidly fluctuating characters. It's just like a wall of A's and zeros and B's and X's,
And
they're
it's
all
just constantly changing.
Yeah, it's all jumbled up. And then at the top you have 2 like 8-digit rows of like a key phrase. But
Well, the reason I told you to get sabotaged is they actually get smaller.
oh, that's handy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have a phrase that is like constant, and if you, it's almost like
You kind of have to
it's like a
defocus
Where's
your
Wall.
eyes. Yeah.
yeah, you're like if you defocus your eyes, you'll notice 2 specific parts of this big grid of characters are not changing, and you have to overlap the codes that you have in your hands with those 2 spots.
Which is really cool, except that you're moving the codes. One of the codes you're moving with the mouse.
It's fucked.
yeah,
fucked.
It's fucked.
Like, I'm good at it, because of course I am. I've played this game a million times. But man!
so I'm sure anyone who hasn't played this is like, what are you guys talking about? Like, that sounds great. Like, mouse pointers are super accurate. You would just move it over to the spot and click, right?
I wish.
No. So it's, like I said, they're literally in your 2 hands. WASD is controlling the left and spacebar confirms the location. Mouse is controlling the right and click confirms the location. But they're both emulating analog sticks.
Yep.
So you're holding S to move the left one down, and you're delicately scrolling the mouse down to move the right one down.
And then you
And
scroll
it's-
too far and
Yeah, and then you already clicked, so then, oh shit, you lost 10 seconds.
Yeah, it penalizes you. You literally have to like have a persistent, steady motion. You have to have like a constant input of down being registered on the mouse to keep moving down.
Yep.
You can't like pick up and drag because it'll be this really jerky, like inconsistent motion. It's hard to explain, but it's just like the worst way you could conceive of mouse control.
And on the console, again, works great.
Does the console controls work? Does the controller work for that puzzle? if
Oh,
you plug
big
it in?
time.
So like
Like, it's L2 to confirm the left one, R2 to confirm the right one,
I
left
almost
stick,
want
right
to
stick.
get a controller just for that puzzle because it fucks me up every time. Because my sensitivity for aiming is relatively high, so I'm used to just like making small, snappy movements to shoot. And then suddenly you have to do these big, long drags with my mouse and like recentering on the mouse pad.
And you really do have to do that. You have to bring it down, lift it up, put it back up, put it down again. Like, you have to
sometimes
do
like
that.
3 times, 3 whole lengths of the mouse pad. It's really bad.
it's terrible.
Yeah, it's fucking awful.
I like the first
I
time
love
I
the left half
encountered
of the
it.
puzzle.
yeah,
I
that
thought-
was great.
Yeah, I thought that like maybe I was just really stupid.
No.
Yeah, I was like
The first time I did it, I
Can
was
I
like,
just-
something's wrong. I'm not understanding the input.
I was like trying to use the
Scroll wheel.
the key or the arrows. I was trying to use the
yeah.
arrows.
Oh,
I'm
that
like,
would've been a good idea.
So much better if they used
Literally, the 0 insert
Like-
numpad key.
Yeah.
you have 2 options for arrows on a keyboard, and one is just fucking arrows and one's WASD. Like, why wouldn't you just go to it?
Yeah. Fucking, I don't know.
Shit.
IJKL, I would have accepted. Christ. But instead we have
IJKL.
mouse. But yeah, so you sneak or beat past a few guards.
Yep.
Work your way out to
You work your way into this like kind of parking garage sort of area, which is cool because there are explosive barrels around it, and you can just kill people.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I never did that.
You can blow up trucks, and Mina goes like, "Those are U.S. soldiers." Like,
Wait.
well, it's my bad.
Wait, you can accidentally kill the...
Oh yeah, accidentally, sure.
What?
Jeez,
What did they say?
I mean, I'm glad that...
Like I said, Mina just goes, "Those are fucking U.S. soldiers."
I'm glad that Mina has a line about that because, like, in a lesser or in a game with different priorities than Alpha Protocol, that would just be something like an inconsistency that a few players would notice and the developers wouldn't even mind because so few people will do it.
Yeah.
The one thing I can commend Alpha Protocol for, despite like some weird tonal inconsistencies and the worst gameplay of its genre, is there's a very impressive, commendable attention to detail in like everything you're doing and characters acknowledging or reacting to it.
Yeah. It's not just have you killed people or have you not killed people. Sometimes it's like what groups of people have you killed.
Yeah, this is like the antithesis of like Infamous in terms of gameplay versus storytelling prioritization. You are not picking the red option or the blue option, but you also do not have crazy fluid mobility controls and great shooting.
I was about to say something like, what about the gameplay of Infamous with Alpha Protocol story? And then I thought, so Michael Thornton's shooting lightning?
I'd be fine with that.
That'd be a cool super agent power.
I would literally take a game where Michael Thornton has Cole McGrath's powers and nobody acknowledges it or thinks it's weird over the current game. In fact, I think that would add an extra level of charm where everyone's just like, so you can go to the weapons dealer and buy new armor and weaponry and silencers, and you're just like, fuck it.
So the parking garage and the exploding barrels.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then you work your way back in the building to the interrogation room, which you might recognize as being from that flash forward with the shitty corporation CEO.
With the dude with the tie.
Yeah.
Yep. And then your
I
boss...
think he even mentions the tie at some point.
I'm sure he has a quip depending on what you pick.
and then you get in there, and you're like, all right, what's going on here? And then your boss shows up on every single screen in there. He's just one big fucking man. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I've been reading and rereading your dossier. And you're just like, oh yeah, what did you think? And more like a pamphlet. Fuck
because you're a recruit.
Yeah, so if you pick the recruit, everyone has to comment on how they don't know anything about you. It's super novel.
That will change if you're whatever specialization you pick, he'll have a different dossier comment.
That's cool.
Including veteran, where he's just like, whoa.
That's fine.
That's fine. Don't worry, nothing happened. We're fine.
No visual dilemmas.
No visual dilemmas.
Not that they know of, at least.
Yeah, I kicked the laptop for clarification.
But you have your first talk, and I think all of us here would agree that the most interesting part of the conversation is when he walks really close up to the camera, and then Thornton's just like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
he backs up a little bit.
That was weird. You could see into his soul through his giant 10-foot eyes, because they have.
Oh, I laughed so hard.
The far wall of the interrogation room is one of those classic TV grids where there's 10 panels by 10 panels, and he just gets right up in your face. The entire wall is.
I think you can even comment on it. You can say something about, you got enough TVs here or something.
You definitely make it. Yeah, there's a quip about all the TVs.
Yeah,
for sure.
But he walks up to the camera.
Fucking so good. You can't even see his mouth anymore. It's just his eyes.
Yeah, it's creepy. But yeah, and then he instructs you to go get some training from a few of your coworkers in Alpha Protocol.
And this is where the game starts getting good.
Yeah,
because you start being able to talk to people.
Mm-hmm. Well, it also gets bad because you start having to do things. But it's like
the good with the bad.
It's like a shit sandwich, but the bread is divine.
Oh, it's such good bread.
Yeah. But as you're leaving the interrogation room. I love how when the video feed cuts and it goes back to like the default screens for all those TVs, it's just like these walls of pointless like spy paraphernalia. Like there's diagrams of grenades and like maps of like foreign countries and stuff serving zero purpose. It's just like, okay, these are someone Googled,
in case you need it.
Yeah, someone Googled like spy encyclopedia and just put every page.
Yeah, there are very classic like spy
tropes and that.
Or like
I like it because it
Middle
doesn't
Eastern
shy away
culture.
from that shit.
Yeah.
It's just like, nah, it literally says espionage RPG on the packaging. You're getting a spy game.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
The training with
Who should we
Maria?
tackle first?
I just went left to right. So
Darcy, Mina, and
actually
Parker?
this was the point where I encountered the menus.
okay, why don't we go back to that piece of jam? What?
Before that, customization.
Oh, this is actually when I encountered the menus.
Good.
That's what.
Good.
That's
Okay.
So, like, there's no indication of how you're supposed to select your thing, and also you can't select your thing.
Select what?
Well, you don't in your when you first get your specialization screen, right?
Yeah.
But you
Oh,
can't add points to it.
Yeah.
But it
because
makes
you're a
it-
recruit.
Yeah, but it makes it look like you can.
Yeah,
and
that
you're
was
like
weird.
you're looking around, you're like, what the hell?
So
and-
did you monkey around with the skill loadout for a while?
Yeah, I was like trying to like take skill like
Retract
I don't know
points
what
of your
colors
invest.
at this point mean I have a skill.
Yeah, when
Yeah.
everything is just blank, you can't tell. It's one of those situations, a lot of games fuck this up, surprisingly, where like when there are only two menu options, you can't tell which is on and which is off because there's no comparison. Here, everything looks the same, so you're just like, I guess they're just showing me this skill allocation screen for funsies.
Yeah, I think I actually sent you a Steam message or something like, hey Josh, I can't select these.
Yeah, I was really
Wait.
confused. I was just like,
You guys are talking amongst yourselves, and I'm over here like, hi, I played this game 50,000 times.
Yeah, well, because we need someone who can commiserate. You're too blinded by your perceived glory of this game. When we're down here in the trenches playing our first playthrough on Recruit, being like, what the fuck is this supposed to even mean?
Hey, at least I was here to tell you to play on easy.
It's really bad.
Yeah. So yeah, I presumably if you play on anything other than Recruit, you will already have a few points to put in there, and they just didn't bother to take that menu out where you have 0 points because you're a recruit.
Yeah, and it makes no sense.
I will say
there's
that
no
even on my first
indication-
playthrough, I didn't get tricked by that
Well,
because I am a Ubermensch.
And I'm just gonna ignore you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And even like in the menu, there's some skills that have arrows on them too. So you're like,
Yeah.
maybe those are the selected ones.
Yeah.
Those aren't the selected ones.
No,
Those
they're-
are the active abilities.
Yeah.
There.
But immediately after that, you get to go to your locker just before all the training, and you get to, of course, put on the lumberjack beard and the backwards cap and the razor sunglasses, so you can look like a douchey 40-year-old Alex Moranis.
Yep. Name drop.
Yeah. Name drop.
Yeah, fair enough.
No visual inside gags.
All you need to know is that you are this, like, you have the douchiest, like, face obscuring orange glasses, like orange lens glasses, a backwards baseball cap, and a beard that is bigger than your head. It is just this big bulbous.
Is that the one you stuck with?
Oh yeah.
Nice.
No, I'm going full lumberjack. It's gloriously douchey.
I honestly just stuck with what I had because listen, he looks like such a fucking tool.
He does.
I
No
like-
matter what you do, you can't make him look not douchey.
Yeah, but
That
he
is
just,
definitely a statement.
as he is, he's just kind of like this bland ass tool.
Yeah.
And like his facial expressions in the it was so great. I'm like, no, I'm just leaving it.
Yeah.
It's so he just looks like
it's-
such a douche.
It's like it's like the most generic, just like sort of strong-jawed, normal white dude with pretty short hair and an eyebrow that he cocks up every once in a while when he says something charming.
Yeah,
I just made my dude tan and I gave him a beard. Like a normal beard.
Yeah. Like yours.
Yeah, like my great beard.
visual gags.
Visual gags.
Welcome to the Visual Gag Cast. Brett's beard is wonky.
So should we just go left to right?
With,
Well, first, where to find those things? I know there's a thing on your menu, but maybe you wanted to look at the map.
Well,
Maybe you wanted to just
it's
pull up
such a small area.
I know, but maybe you wanted to pull up the map to see where the two areas were.
No.
You did though, because you wanted to pull up the map, just to know.
No. Didn't do that for the first 5 playthroughs.
This is probably going to be the one time in the whole game club where I'm not going to be with you there, Brent, because this is such
No,
a small...
it is right there.
Yeah,
But
you were just curious?
I was like, okay, is it like around this corner? Yeah. I just pulled up the map.
Okay, yeah.
But when you pull up the map with M,
Yeah.
you're in this Intel screen, because the map's not under map, it's under Intel.
Yeah, the map, so you access... Is Intel the top level where there are 3 options, or is there another name?
No, Intel's one of the options.
I thought Intel was one of the options. I think it's just
Intel's one of the options.
So what is the top level?
Because they tell you at that point to look at your...
It's not the dossier.
Like, the top... I think that is the top level, the selection of the 3.
What, dossier?
No, like, the top level is when you're choosing between service record...
That's what I'm
Intel.
saying. What is that level called? The top level called? I think there might... Maybe not.
I don't think there's a term.
I think they call it, like, your PDA or...
I'll just call it your PDA.
Yeah, so, like, at that point, they tell you about your PDA, so you whip it out. But, like...
Oh, yeah. You whip it out all the
you
time.
whip out your...
You gotta be suave.
You're suave as fuck, and you got your PDA. But, like, so the Intel screen has the map. I don't know what's up with that.
It's Intel.
Yeah, but why not have a map screen and an Intel screen?
Because the map is Intel. You buy it.
Yeah, but it doesn't... In a menu, it makes no sense.
It's part of the Intel package that you buy.
When it's not, like, laid out in advance, it's confusing, because if you press M, it dives you past this menu that you access with tab that gives you your 3 subcategories of menus. And then puts you into a side tab within Intel. So backing out of it is confusing as fuck the first time if you press M. Because M doesn't close it again.
Wait, really?
No. And the only way to get out of that part is to hit back. And then you get to this weird menu you've never seen before. And you're
you're lost like 3 levels into a menu that you've never had explained.
That's really
But
stupid.
escape
That's
doesn't get you out of it.
Yeah.
So
you have to right click to get out of menus.
You have to tab to. You can get
Okay,
tab.
You can
I'm
tab
sorry,
as
Brent.
well.
Now I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were just going like, why is this an Intel?
No.
Like, well,
it's just that nothing. It would be fine if it was in. They could have put it in the fucking inventory screen if they wanted to, as long as M closed it again. But the only time that the button you press to open a menu closes that menu again is when you're in the tab menu.
wait, is that fucking real?
Yeah. Yeah, we're 37 minutes in.
We
got a lot to get off our chests.
We got a lot to get through.
It's okay, because a lot of the Saudi Arabia missions are like basically fluff.
But Brent knows more about this game, so he's probably got something he wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, the
You're gonna have to
menus are
save
shit.
some of your rants for next episode. So, menus suck. We go to Darcy, who is the equipment specialist.
Yeah, he's the gadgets guy.
Yeah.
He's a dick.
He's a dick.
He is a douchebag.
I made best friends with him on this
I
playthrough.
started calling him the Blondie.
Yeah, which I love because you can just run it together as Blondie.
Yeah.
And it just sounds nonchalant. And it's one of those shitty insult nicknames that you could say around the person. Oh, what's up, Blondie?
Oh, that is good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that into Obsidian.
Sure is, isn't it, Brett?
He is a huge tool.
What are you trying to say?
He's constantly like getting into pissing matches with you. And the thing that's funny to me is that Michael caught on that he was a douchebag before I even did. Like the first option I chose, like I think I chose professional, and even within the first professional dialogue option you do with him, he's already smack talking him, and I'm like, oh man, why are you being mean to him? Like he's just trying to help you out. He's giving you a tip, and then the next 5 things Darcy says are all just like douchey playboy bullshit, where he's like talking about how much he gets laid and stuff.
Even if you're suave, which usually means you're trying to be endearingly friendly.
Yeah.
He's still kind of like, okay, sure.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
It plays off as this really awkward conversation because he's like, yeah, all right, man.
It's like an obstacle course for you. It's a walking gallery for me. Whatever the fuck he says.
So trivial.
Fucking tool.
And if you had hacked the laptop that's right outside of this room, you can read it
Yeah.
email. Also, you just blatantly stand up and hack this computer in front of 3 guards.
The guard's probably just like,
I don't don't get paid
Fuck
enough to
it.
stop this guy from hacking his coworkers' emails. But if you hack it, you can read an email where Darcy is like really aggressively and lewdly and creepily hitting on Mina?
Mina,
Yeah, he's like
Or
talking
Rita.
about how
I'll
like
frame our ketchup packets. And
from our date and tell our grandkids about it. She's like, you're bringing up grandkids and we haven't even gone on a date yet.
Also, how do you go on a date when you're like sequestered in some beige facility?
Yeah, they'll go on a date to the mess hall.
Yeah.
I think they actually.
That's actually what they say.
Yeah, I forgot. Sorry, Obsidian. I didn't mean to steal your bit. But yeah, so you go through this little training course where they teach you about grenades and EMPs, which apparently you can EMP locked doors.
This is where I found my new thing of the playthrough. I always find one new thing.
Yeah.
You can throw a grenade through the window.
I did that.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And fuck up the guard who's watching it.
Yeah, and the camera too, so it goes on alert.
Yeah. They let you get away with some crazy shit. Namely, when you're testing out the concussion grenades, he's like, here, test out your targeting practice. Try to ricochet it off a wall. Get it up in this window.
Don't worry about it. They're just concussion
They're just
grenades.
concussion grenades. Throw it under this truck. The truck fucking explodes. And he's like, that one never gets old. And it's like,
Do you get a new truck every time you do this?
you knew about this? Also, first and foremost, you told me these weren't hazardous. I could have died if I was 5
The
feet
guy's
closer
a
to this
tool.
truck.
The guy's a dick.
Guy's such
He's
a dick.
blondie.
He wanted you to fucking blow yourself up on this truck with a flashbang that apparently blows up trucks. Christ.
Darcy's great.
He's a piece of
He's
work.
the perfect tool.
But then you have this little section where they give you these like electroshock grenades / mines. You can plant them on surfaces. And this is a cool little section of like setting up traps and that kind of thing, except for the first time I did it, I got stuck in a wall immediately.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and my character was just spinning wildly, and all the guards did not know what to do about that. They just started spasming, like they just kept. It's like if I'm gonna like try to imagine what the game logic is like right now, the game can't tell which side of the wall I'm on, so the guards are like freaking out, running back and forth to try to get on the other side of the wall and back to where I actually am. It was ridiculous. So I loaded a checkpoint. Fortunately, the checkpoints are extremely forgiving in this game, so there are no
Take that, Mirror's Edge.
Mirror's Edge mishaps.
Also, like,
Brent,
this
what was
company-
your tactic?
My tactic for that one?
Yeah.
I ran around through the things on the ground.
Yeah,
Here, you want to know what I did?
Yeah.
Did you punch him out?
Just put them in front of the door.
the door.
They
Yeah,
come
they
out.
all come through one door, so it's really not hard to set up a trap that will kill them or stun them all.
Also,
Here-
what kind of organization are you running? So you got this asshole who's like telling you it's okay to throw grenades that are dangerous, and then there's these like fucking 3 dicks that come in because they're mad that you like beat them up in a training exercise.
Yeah,
earlier,
they're still
and
bitter.
they
Or
wanna-
killed their friends.
and they want to beat the shit out of you.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's like
It's a hostile work environment, to say the least.
it's not. Yeah, I don't think that.
That's
I don't
all.
think HR knows about this.
There is no HR. It's AP.
There's HR. Everywhere has HR. There's an HR AP, but
It seems that Michael Thornton killed 3 U.S. soldiers.
Reclassify it all. But yeah, so then when you finish this, and he asked if you want to do a second run through the obstacle course, and I was just like, oh no, I did fine or no. I'm gonna say no as my response. He says the most dickish thing if you deny him on the first time. He's like, I'm not scared of this obstacle course. I'm bored. If this is all you have to teach me, then clearly I have no reason to be here anymore. And the look on Darcy's face is just like, he was completely emasculated, and his entire purpose for living was just.
I've never done that. I've never done that. 'Cause if
You always repeat it?
Did he do the bet with you?
What bet?
Okay. Well, the thing is, the reason I never got that option is that if you do well enough, or if you do what I do and just act like a dick and put 2 traps in front of the door, he goes like, "How about we do a little side bet? Bet you can't do that again."
Oh, he sends a second wave?
Yeah. Well, like you go down there, and the whole idea is that this time you're trying to deactivate alarms,
Oh, yeah.
and then you gotta defeat all the guards. It's
Okay.
basically just take out 6 guards instead of 3,
Okay.
and then you get money. So, and I always win that.
That's kind of cool. Yeah, no, all I meant to say was like, oh no, man, I'm good. I'm not gonna do it again. I got some other shit to do. Instead, I basically just told him that his entire life was pointless.
But
Jesus.
it felt okay.
Yeah, no,
Like-
I didn't have a problem with it because fuck Darcy.
Oh man, did you get Like there's one of those things where if you do well enough on each thing, you get an extra thing. Did you get the one for Mina?
No, I got the one from Parker.
Oh, I cannot wait to tell you about the one for Mina.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get to that in like an hour. At this rate, we should pick up the pace a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, then you get to meet Mina face to face in the weapons training room because she's the weapons expert.
And you can go up there and be like, "Oh yeah, Mina Wang." She's like, "No, that's not my name. It's Mina Tang."
Yeah, she asks you if you remember her name. Did you successfully remember her name, Brent?
No.
Okay, I figured not because I read your notes and you call her Maria every time.
Well, that was playing out the joke.
Okay, I'm glad that you.
The time I fucked up, I was like,
It was legit.
Because like when she told me her name at the beginning, I'm like,
Yeah, I fucked up the first time I can't even remember people's names in real life. It takes me like 3 times of meeting somebody in real life to remember their name at least.
I managed this one.
Yeah, I very impressive, Brett. You remember this character.
I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty good.
But yeah, and she comments on how Darcy is running through the obstacle course after you do it, trying to best your score. You can tell she's pretty fed up with the work environment as well.
I think that's harassment that she's encountering.
Yeah, she gets hit on constantly by him and that kind of thing.
Yeah, this is where you go through the obstacle course, assault, and blah blah blah. Did either of you get the optional thing?
No.
If you get a high enough score, she's just like, "Hey, listen, I want you to go into the course. I want you to shoot Darcy in the balls."
Oh, you were making a reference to that, and I didn't understand it at all.
Oh man,
that's
interesting.
interesting.
It's so good. Like it's the easiest one out of all of them. The other one
you have like rubber bullets.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like the other ones are rather involved. Like the one with Darcy, you're doing a bet. The one with Parker, you're doing a whole bit.
Yeah.
The one with Mina is literally you just climb back up, you sight in on Darcy's balls, get a critical hit.
Nice.
And then you just go back in. She's like, "Thank you."
That's perfect. But yeah, and here I tried out my first recruit option and my last recruit option because she brings up like how competitive Darcy is, and she's like, it's like a cage match with you guys, and you pick the recruit option, and he's like, "Oh, I have to do a cage match next? Next? That sounds really stressful." And she just has this deadpan stare of like, "No, you're not actually going to do a cage match, you fucking socially inept loser."
It's honestly like actual dialogue though.
Yeah. Well, it's like
It's like something I would say if I was just having an off day.
it's like they took a page out of The Office or something. Like, it is legitimately cringeworthy.
Oh god.
Yeah, but then you move on to Parker, who is the jaded, uptight, down to business, like intel guy.
Yeah.
/ stealth pro.
And man, being suave with Parker
Does not play. Yeah, he is the most uptight character I've had to interact with in a video game in a long time. He literally gets mad at you if you answer yes or no questions with more than just yes or no. He calls you out on saying like, "Yeah, no, I understand. No, just yes or no is fine."
He's such a fun dude. Like all these characters are so fun.
Yeah. And you
Except for Blondie.
did you?
No, he's fun.
Yeah.
He's fun.
Did you get on his good side at all in that discussion, Brent?
So, you know what? I think I completely skipped that and went right to my debriefing thing.
Jesus fucking Christ, Brent!
God damn.
You had a map!
I did have a map, and then you can
Is
go
he
to the
even ever
room.
gonna see him again?
At the end of the game.
Okay, that's what I thought. You missed out on like 50% of your time with this character who's actually pretty awesome. Oh well. He gives you this stealth. He gives you a stealth.
I really
course.
like ruining this how I play the game to see.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna do this on purpose.
It's
now.
like-
Brett's a control freak. You
you
have
just-
to pick everything wrong.
I told you that it's all about the characters, and then you went for more gameplay instead.
No, I went to finish as fast as I could.
So you have to do this stealth course, which consists of deactivating alarm, sneaking through these camera rotations.
It's very short.
It's very short. And
it's
totally
not
worth
hard. Totally worth it.
Also, it's very short if you do what I did, which is just sprint through it and trip 2 alarms and get into a fist fight with a guard and still get an amazing rating.
That's literally the way to do it.
It's ridiculous.
I got 4
and
alarms,
it's the
and I
stealth
still got.
game.
Yeah, it's you're ostensibly being judged on your stealthiness, and he's like, "Oh my god, I've never had a recruit anywhere near as good as you." And I left this like crater in my wake of like blaring alarms and dead guards, and he's just like, "You're completely unnoticed. You're like a ghost."
You get more points for disabling alarms than you do for getting caught by alarms.
Oh my god. Yeah, it seems ill-conceived. So I did get the Parker reward later on, which we'll get to because of that.
Brent, how about you? Did you get it?
Huh? The Parker reward?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
Totally.
Oh, cool.
Of course.
Yeah, it's the one where you don't have to meet him.
Yeah. But I did.
It's my reward.
I did the favor for him, where he tells you to go back into the medical ward and retrieve a dossier that he needs.
The file is called Jacob, which may actually come up.
Ooh. But it's interesting that he like remotely unlocks the door back to the medical ward, and it's like, okay, this area is completely off limits to you, so don't get caught by the guards. And there's just a guard in the hallway watching you go into the medical ward who doesn't seem to give a fuck. I'm gonna assume
I'm guarding this door. I'm not guarding that
I
door.
don't give a shit about that end of the hallway. Not my job. That is above my pay grade.
I mean, you could
You don't want to go
imagine that
poking your
Parker's just
nose.
like
and-
talk to that guard through his earpiece, going, "Hey,
This guy's cool.
he's cool."
Yeah.
But then you'd think he could do that with all of them.
Yeah. I didn't worry too much about it. It just was funny to me.
Or this guard doesn't know who can't go in there because he doesn't ever guard that.
Yeah, it is one of the relatively few instances of this game seemingly overlooking a detail.
Yeah.
So when they happen, it stands out because of how much they are studious in every other respect.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But yeah, so I just beat down all the guards in there. And got it.
Did you get through it sneaky?
No, I just fucking got into fistfights with all of them. And
I got through it sneaky for the first time
ever.
ever.
Oh wow.
Because I never bothered.
That's actually pretty commendable because it looked kind of like it would take forever and be a pain in the ass if I did it that way. So I did.
It's actually rather easy.
Okay. Well, thanks for making me feel that.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. It's not that you're incompetent. It's just that you didn't care.
I got through it 0 flat.
Oh, really?
Brent just blazed. He literally took 0 seconds to do it.
Wow, a speed run.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you actually lose reputation with him when you come back doing his favor.
The
just because-
look he gives you. Just, did you get caught? And he's like, not enough to be noticed, or whatever. And
Not enough for them to know what I was doing.
Yeah, and they just
-1 reputation. I think by the end of the conversation, I had -4 reputation on him, +1 with Darcy, and +6 with it's on Maria. Now I have Brent's
Maria.
I'm not gonna
It's
tell you.
Melina.
I'm not gonna tell you.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Fuck you
well,
for-
if you're gonna look at notes,
yeah,
Mina.
Thank you. God, Brent,
I was hoping we
you
were gonna do a bit.
No.
We got so
We're-
much time.
we don't
for
have
forgetful
bits in
bits.
this.
Oh
That's part.
God, we're not even out of the alpha product.
Yeah, well, everything becomes way faster from here.
It
We'll just
does.
keep going. But so you finish all this shit. You are trained, and then you go back to the interrogation room where you get a face-to-face encounter with what's his name again?
Westridge.
Westridge.
Now, the thing to note about Westridge is that every
He's your boss.
He's your boss. Every character by this point has been like, "Oh, you had to deal with one of Westridge's lectures, huh?" And like you're kind of thinking like, "Well, that wasn't that bad." You know, like he talked a bit, but whatever. This is where you learn what Westridge is.
Yeah.
Westridge's lectures.
Yeah, it's really long,
Mm.
and like you actually do have the like he talks to you about like, "Oh well, here's all the scores you got. You know, here's the basics of I'm going to tell you how to talk to people. I'm going to tell you how to talk to people
Here's
for
how
about 10
He
minutes."
never shuts up.
Here's how your conversation options will affect the gameplay. I mean, your missions.
Yeah,
You're a
and, like,
sociopath.
it's very telling that halfway through this conversation, you can just be like, "I'm fucking done. I'm done. See ya."
Well-
well,
he
no-
actually likes you more for it.
That's
Yeah, no,
true.
there is an option in there. Well, he says at one point, he's like, I mean, if you know all this stuff already, you can go. And you can go, yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
I
He's-
get the gist. Thank
Yeah.
you. But oh man, Wait, no. I don't have the quotes in front of me.
Oh, but he also talks about how, like, sometimes you're just using conversations to, like, get a better angle from a combat perspective, like close distance on targets. And at that moment, I really wished that this game had the Westerado system. I don't know if either of you guys played that game.
Oh, you can just shoot at any time?
You can draw your gun at any point in the game, including when you're in a dialogue tree, and the characters react accordingly. So
that
like
would be really cool.
You can like be like shopping at the saloon for a pint, and you're like just about to pay, and then you pull out your gun, and he's like, "Okay, it's on the house." Like all the dialogue matches whatever point in the conversation you're at. This game would be awesome if there was a fifth option. Click in the stick and you just fucking draw on them.
That'd be super cool, actually.
Alpha Protocol 2 coming next year.
God, don't do that to me.
With menus.
Yeah, now with menus.
Worse menus. It actually says that on the box.
Way worse.
On top of all of this shit about like the actual logistics of the gameplay, he also explains the dilemma and what was going on with the airplane.
Oh, right. He explains like
what the story is.
Shit. Al-Samad is the name, right?
Yeah, Al-Samad, or Al-Shahid, actually.
No, it's Sheikh Ali Shahid, but his organization, I believe, is Al-Samad.
Al-Samad was, the organization.
Right. So he gives you, like, not really the dossier on your target, but he gives you just, like, a headshot, and, he's like, this is Sheikh Ali Shahid. He stole missiles from Halbeck. Let's keep it on the down low.
They're American missiles.
They're American missiles. Like American missiles shooting down a U.S. aircraft. That's no bueno.
Yeah. Find this guy. Stop the missiles. Put everything back in its place.
Yep. Save America.
Yeah.
And
America.
And you got to go to Saudi Arabia to do it.
Yeah. And then you go to Saudi Arabia. You get a really cool safe house.
Yeah. You get this. It's like a penthouse almost. You have like 8 rooms.
Yeah.
And just all these cool little knickknacks, and so here's the rewards Brent was talking about for each of the trials you do if you do the bonus mission. I got a little plaque from Parker for being so good at stealth and doing his bonus mission, and it literally says on it, "The agency made me give this to you."
When you first get there, right?
Westridge talks to you.
Westridge is talking to you, but you have the option to just say,
turn off the TV.
Yeah.
Because he's coming through on
static.
Telecommuting.
Yeah, he's like static, and I turned it off and
immediately.
And
thank you, Brent.
I would laud you. I would genuinely laud you for that if you hadn't fucking skipped the last thing. Motherfucker.
It's okay.
Brent,
I like how I'm playing this game.
I implore you to continue skipping large swaths of this because you will still hear about it from us discussing our play, and it will be entertaining as hell. Also, I'm kind of curious if there are...
You will miss out on other missions.
I'm kind of curious.
We will be talking to you about missions that you have no concept of for 20 to 40 minutes.
But I'm kind of curious if anything happens that is specific to Brent because he skipped some conversations and stuff.
Yeah,
that's kind of worth exploring almost.
Okay.
So I just kind of turned off the TV, and you know what he says there?
What?
He's just kind of like, "Oh, I think I know enough," and then Westridge is like, "No." And then
imperative that you.
And then you turn off the TV.
See, I wouldn't have known that, so...
It was really funny.
I know that.
Westridge, panics. He's like, no.
So Westridge was another lecture.
What is the Mina plaque or reward that you get?
The Mina one...
You wanted to talk about it really badly, remember?
Oh, no, the reward thing was what I was talking about when you got to shoot Darcy in the balls.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to talk about another thing that is in your... I thought your house would be full of little knickknacks. Oh, well.
No, it is, but I think it's just another, plaque, you did really good!
Okay.
And the Darcy one is a picture of Mike's and his faces on a buddy cop movie poster that says "Best Friends Forever" on it, regardless of your relationship with him.
Weird.
Even if he hates you.
I guess it works on every level, so
yeah,
that's okay.
It's really good. And then Mike just goes, "Darcy got me this."
Yeah. But yeah, and you get to look through your emails, download $10,000.
Yep.
Talk with Mina a little bit.
Did you go for the flirty dirty?
Not yet. I think I
only just... Actually, I don't... Oh, the first time I flirted with her was at the very end of Saudi Arabia. There's like a pretty specific moment where it kind of opens the avenue. I let her make the first move because we're in a working relationship. I didn't want to complicate things if she wasn't up for that.
I talked about fucking her in a supply closet, and she didn't like that.
Probably because you couldn't say supply closet.
Yeah. If I was able to get that out,
I'm gonna fuck you in a supply closet. No, you're not.
If only you'd been more eloquent.
Then we could have fucked in a supply closet.
Yeah, like, I always like it because at the moment you send an email, the character's reaction changes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just like, you go out, you kind of go out on a limb. You're just like, are they gonna like this? And it's like -1.
They're staring intently at their emails constantly. When is he gonna reply to me? It's like when you're instant messaging a crush and you're just like pathetically watching for the ...
No, you see the ... and then the ... goes away and it never comes back.
Yep, and you're like, well, that's...
No, it's great when it starts, it goes away, it comes back, it goes away.
Yeah,
it comes back.
The fourth time she just
goes away.
She just says lol.
Yeah.
And what did I do?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, we're all there.
Yeah. And then there's also a shop on your computer where you can do some
clearinghouse.
Some typical stuff. Yeah, clearing. I don't know why they call it that. I guess it just sounds cool to them. Whatever.
I don't know.
Clearinghouse?
It's your shop is called Clearinghouse. One word.
I mean, like
property.
they do like clearinghouses with like surplus shit.
Okay, I've never
Oh,
heard
yeah,
that
so
term
it'd be
before.
surplus military wear then.
That makes sense. Okay, I've never heard that term before, so I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was like an original proper noun they invented for this brand of arms dealing for spies in America that are non-disclosed.
Clearinghouse for your non-disclosed spies in America.
Yeah, basically. I was like, why is this even a thing?
Now based in Saudi Arabia.
But yeah, so you can buy typical stuff, silencers, ammo, magazines, grenades.
Intel.
And then, yeah, the Intel system is actually really cool. Have you experimented with that at all?
No.
Okay, I did my first time because I was not actually really paying attention because
I was talking over his shoulder telling him how to play the game right.
While Grayson was like making quips and stuff. This time I'm actually paying attention. The Intel system is very cool. I don't know if either of you played the Black Ops 2 campaign, but it really reminds me of this campaign perk that you have called the Access Kit, where you basically have like wire cutters and crowbar like slung over your back, and there are like rooms and shit in the levels that you can only access with this perk where you like clip off the lock and stuff, and there's like unique guns and stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the spy equivalent of that, where like you pay money for like extra maps, unique missions that give you other dialogue and stuff like that, like side missions. It's really cool, so you should take a look.
And I can confirm that there are situations in this game where you will get campaign missions, like whole new areas.
By buying those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, well, partially with that.
Okay, that is like the first
So
step.
things that influence the campaign?
Yeah,
Yes.
It's actually content, which I haven't even, I don't think I bought a single weapon yet. I bought some armor, that was it. But the main thing I've been buying is like side objectives, maps. They have like weapon dead drops where like they'll put in extra equipment in like a closet or something for you in case you run out of ammo halfway through the mission. So actually buy those, and they're cheap. You have like, you get $10,000 right away. I think most of them are like $600.
You
Plus
also
you pick
you
up
also
like
get perks.
$5,000 at a time when you're
well,
because these terrorists are
like
just loaded.
that kind of shit is weird, but I just kind of rationalize it as like, oh, I'm getting general intel that I'm selling when I get home. Like it's flimsy, but it works for me.
Yeah, well, don't you actually get intel to sell as well, if I remember correctly?
Occasionally.
Which makes
But
that
it's like
headcanon a little more flimsy, but you know, I'll let you have it. I'm not going to deprive
well, I
you
mean,
of
there's
that.
intel on the clearinghouse, right?
Yeah.
Like I imagine he just goes back in the clearinghouse, sells more stuff like it. I found in this duffel bag patrol charts.
Yeah.
Not $5,000.
We should actually get to the missions now.
Yeah.
To those of you listening, this will by far be the longest episode. We had a lot of like ground to cover just in the concepts of the game and like the mechanics that will not come up in the future. Sorry, this episode is kind of crazy long. Bear with us.
Holy shit.
It's going to go a lot faster from here.
That's what we've said.
Yeah.
No, well, because the next three things are going to take like 30 seconds each to discuss.
Okay.
So we have to bug the Al-Samad airfield.
Yeah, this one's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how you you fight your way through everyone, and then you plant the bug like no one's gonna suspect.
I imagine there's got to be a way to stealth that mission, but I'm never gonna bother.
Yeah, I haven't been using stealth pretty much at all in this game because it's so easy to get caught. There are like no.
What kind of armor have you been using?
The armor that gives me sound reduction.
Okay, so you're using the right one.
Yeah. It's just not enough, and it's so easy to get through encounters shooting that I haven't. Like, I'm playing on easy and exploiting the pistol freeze time ability, like the Deadeye thing, a lot. So it's just faster and more convenient to shoot
one
through.
thing I just want to let you guys both know, because this is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
You can get critical hits with the pistol while in cover. You can blind fire it.
Okay.
So you don't have to be popped up and aiming.
And aim for like 30 seconds while the.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that. I guess just for a quick second. There's this mechanic on all the guns where if you hold your aim in one spot and wait for the cursor to slowly dial in on this one specific pixel in the middle of the screen. And they moved. Okay, turn. It resets and then slowly you can refocus. It's such a. It literally takes like 5 seconds to get the critical.
It starts taking a lot less time.
Yeah, I definitely have noticed there are like upgrades to that speed. So I'm looking forward to that. So I'm not just.
That's why when I played on Veteran, I had no problems because.
You already had points in that?
Yeah, so like, I forgot how fucking long it takes.
Yeah, but so yeah, you sneak past or murder a bunch of guys in an airfield and take the wads of thousands of dollars of cash they have laying around everywhere.
Like my cash like 30,000.
You hack some of their like random terminals that they have set up.
Yeah.
Like it's always funny because you have these like sandy like desert hideouts and then like they just have terminal.
Yeah.
Like there's
and here's my
around,
computer.
but a computer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's over pretty quick. Then you have to investigate a weapons stockpile, trying to find traces of the missiles. And this time, Darcy is your handler. You have to. They hype up in the like pre-mission briefing, like, okay, we're timing it, so you're going to go in with this sandstorm, and you're going to use the sandstorm as cover, so you can navigate and
doesn't
kill.
Matter.
No, the sandstorm is there for like 20 seconds. I think I had one moment where I used the sandstorm. It is not even remotely as big a deal as they make it out to be.
Like, the thing is, like, I was reading your notes before I actually played it, and I was just like, well, the sandstorm's just the general, like, that's how he gets in the first place. But no.
They keep
like, it's part
talking
of it.
about the sandstorm constantly.
And you can see it happen. It's just like, okay, well, this doesn't fucking help me.
Yeah, this is ineffectual.
I think at one point it even tells you we're running out of time or something.
Yeah.
It's like...
They keep like hyping it up to be this big deal. I feel like
you'll have to follow the lights to get to the enemy encampment.
Yeah, I feel like when they originally were designing the mission, they were going to have this like bespoke system for the sandstorm coming in and out, a lot like Metal Gear Solid 5 ended up doing, which is cool. And that would have been cool in a game that wasn't shit, mechanically speaking.
Yeah.
And then they realized like either this is taking too much time to develop this for one level, or this is too tedious to like wait for the sandstorm constantly. Let's just minimize it to like the very first part of the mission.
Yeah.
And they did. The one thing that is a big deal is Darcy being a bitter fucking asshole. He reminds you about 30 times that he was considered for this mission and passed up so that you could do it.
I was able to use the dossier thing and be like, well, your dad wouldn't be very happy if you were out there.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go somewhere else with that. Just like ridiculing him for his dad being ill or something.
Oh,
It's
no,
like really
no.
low blow. Yeah, you find out that Darcy's dad is ill, which is why
he's a senator.
Oh, they kept dancing around it. I thought he like had something wrong with him. Like,
oh
he was
no!
dying.
If you talk to Mina before this and get her to say something, I don't know what the word is, but he's a senator.
Okay.
He's in the presidential race.
I didn't get the full rundown. The tones they were using were the same tones of like when a relative has cancer but hasn't come out with it yet.
I imagine that's how it is in government business.
When you're a spy, having a relative be running open for candidacy is like having cancer.
Poor man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I just started getting aggressive with it.
yeah, you shoot some dudes. That's all. Then you third mission have to
Skip.
Fucking
asshole. So Brent didn't do this mission because he was in a rush. Brent and I have no problem taking a long ass time, as evidenced by this episode. So we did this mission. It's actually the best mission in this pack.
Yep.
It was actually kind of fun and charming in a little bit of a way. So you have to like you basically have to get up to the arms dealer who supposedly traded these missiles in hopes that you can find where they are now. And you walk up to his base. He basically has like this like favela walled off, like this little town with like turrets up and everything. And you can just bluff your way through the front door, just be like, oh, yeah, Nasri's waiting for me. I didn't hear anything about an American. You really want to keep him waiting? Like, he's gonna get pissed. Okay, fine, go in. And you just waltz right in the front door.
Or you can do what I do. You can just be like, I did not hear about an American. I'm just like, oh, here's my credentials. I pull out my gun and I shot him in the face.
Nice.
And that is actually, as far as I know, the only way to get in there silently.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because if you bluff your way through, it'll activate the alarm.
Yeah.
So they're like, actually, no. Are you retarded?
Yeah, it's really funny because, it's this, like, razor wire fence and turrets everywhere and, like, 6 guys waiting out the front. And then you bluff your way in, and it's just silent. Nobody. There's fucking tumbleweed rolling by. The front entrance of this base is deserted. You'd think there would be someone here, but there's like a 30-second period where they just are like, oh, no, you'll find your way, you'll be fine. And then the alarm goes off because they called ahead to Nasri, and they're like, no, this does not check out. But yeah, so
what do you think, Brent? Does this sound fun?
No.
You shoot your way through these series of rooms. The one part that is actually standout is where you're in this like munitions cache room. There's like missile silos and crates of ammo and stuff.
Butt crates?
Yeah. I was gonna say barrels, but I'm like, what? Nobody keeps bullets in barrels anymore.
Barrel of bullets.
But you can hack the computer next to the anti-air missiles and just shoot them down into the room and blow up everyone in there. And Westfield?
Westridge.
I keep thinking it's Westfield. I'm probably going to fuck it up.
That is kind of a cooler name.
Yeah. Westridge calls you for a second. He's your handler on this mission. And he's like, what the fuck was that? And you're like, I fired a missile at the palace. That was like the one line mid-action that I was very taken by.
Oh, it's so good.
But yeah, you get to the guy and you have him at gunpoint and he's like, the missiles are gone, dude. Like, you killed all my dudes for no reason. And you can either just pop a cap in him right there, arrest him, or like leave him out in the field and use him to gather intelligence, which is what I did. I was like, okay, I'll play both sides, see how this pans out.
I shot him in the fucking face.
Yeah, that's what I did the first time.
Like, it's cool because he's just like, oh, sorry, Westridge, there's a lot of static.
Nice. And then the final mission, Brent, you can come back now.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Hi, Brent. How you doing?
How was that mission there?
It's the only good one.
You intercept Shahid, who is the actual lead of this group.
The Shikali Shahid.
And literally as soon as you land off the helicopter, you're in a gunfight.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, even the game isn't pretending this is a stealth game anymore.
Yeah, like the only reason I told everyone to go with stealth is that eventually
Later it will be potent.
Later you get a skill that makes you fucking invisible.
Yeah, I did see that. That seems handy.
It's helpful.
So yeah, I don't think I crouched once this whole mission. I just ran through and shot everyone.
Which is a good way to do it.
And then pretty early on, there's an example of what most of the mid-action banter is like, where you come across this airplane like graveyard. And he's like, I guess this is where planes go to die.
And the Westridge is just silent.
Nobody acknowledges it, and
It was bad.
it was pretty bad.
Oh my god! Like every time he says that, I actually laugh.
Thornton thinks he's a lot more suave than he is, even when he's picking suave every time.
Yeah.
Ugh. Especially, really.
Yeah. But then you have a boss fight with an Al-Samad lieutenant.
The big buff, like...
Yeah, who you can just use your freeze time ability and put 3 rounds in the head.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Am I right?
That was nice, because I tried to shoot him with my assault rifle forever because I didn't realize you could get up there. And then eventually I'm like, oh, look, there's stairs over there. Went up the stairs, right in the face with the pistol, freeze time.
Now imagine if you put points into shotguns or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
Or martial arts.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's what I did my first playthrough. I got into melee fights with everyone. It took so long. But it was pretty... The animations for the melee combos are actually pretty cool. So
yeah, it's actually pretty fun. I'm not knocking martial arts too hard.
It just takes a long time.
Yeah.
this is the fastest way to be doing something other than playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the APC battle.
Yeah, APC rolls up. It's like a little convoy with the missiles, and
He fucking shoots a pistol from like 500 feet away, just, and then hits the console. Like close the door so that the thing can't just go away.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Where did that come
he
from?
didn't sit there for like 20 seconds to focus it either.
yeah.
So I
weird.
don't know how he did that.
Yeah, the convoy's trying to escape, and there's a gate that they're about to get through, and yeah, you shoot the panel to close them in. I don't understand why we can't have that level of precision all the time.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, it's not because, like, if you were being extremely kind to this game, you'd be like, well, we picked pistol, so that's why he was able to do it. He had some skill in pistol, he got lucky.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you put all your points into assault rifles, he still pulls out a pistol for it.
Yeah. But yeah, there's like 3 rocket launchers just laying around. So you just pick those up and blow up the APC.
Yep. I nearly died during this a couple times, because I already had 4 gadgets, so when I picked up the first aid thing, it just disappeared.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Yeah, this game is Alpha Protocol.
We'll say quirky.
Yeah. Inbred, a little bit.
Yeah.
Dumb.
It's actually a lot like Inbred Royalty. It talks real good, but it has the face of an orangutan.
Yeah, it's
got
problems.
Speaking of face of an orangutan, then you open up the APC that you have like nearly destroyed, and Ali Shahid stumbles out, and you have a little bit of a discussion with him wherein he claims that Halbeck is actually pulling all the strings, and he was screwed.
How did you guys handle it?
You go first, Brent. What did you do? Because you have a few options of how to deal with him and the situation as a whole.
I said I believed him.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, you're okay. Sounds right.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I did the same thing.
I did the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
So that's your cue that you probably picked the right one.
Yeah, so you let him go, and you basically say, like, get back to me with intel, like, firm evidence that Halbeck is the problem. Not that you really need any after 3 missiles come down from the sky sent by Halbeck that blow up the APC and nearly kill you and Shahid. Like, they were very deliberately and blatantly trying to wipe out all the evidence so it could be brought back to them.
One thing I really like about this section is that there's another flash forward where you're being interrogated by the Halbeck man.
Yeah.
And he goes, after you killed Shahid, but before you actually meet Shahid.
Yeah.
And so you can, like, it kind of sets you up to just be like, I'm not going to kill him. I'm just not going to kill him. Fuck that guy. And then you can just choose not to kill him. And then,
That was why I didn't. I was like,
that didn't
fuck
factor.
the future.
That didn't factor into my decision making at all. But I did think it was like I was confused, and then in retrospect, thought it was a really clever writing device of like, oh, they said I killed him, but I can choose not to kill him. Oh, now I'm off the grid, so everything that leaks out is coming out the way I want it to. Essentially.
Yeah.
So
like, it's such a cool moment when you realize that. Like, it's like, oh, okay.
And so I did not expect the game to go this direction, but you are like maybe a fourth of the way through the game, and suddenly the tables are completely turned. Halbeck apparently has an inside man at Alpha Protocol.
Yeah.
You are compromised, and you are like no longer affiliated with the project. Like, you are basically blacklisted.
You're fucked.
So you have to take care of shit on your own with the help of Mina.
Of Lena Ting.
Yeah. So this is cool because like you spend all this time getting to know Parker and Darcy, and you expect like, okay, so I'm gonna go to Saudi Arabia, do 4 missions, and then I'll go to Rome, do 4 missions, and there'll be a different handler for everyone, and then I'll go to the next place. Then nope, you're fucking on your own now.
Yeah.
You gotta figure shit out.
And the characters are compelling enough in that moment that, like, you know, like, you like Darcy, but you're not like, oh, I wonder what'll happen next.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of the same thing with Parker. Like, they're interesting characters that don't really lead you on, so that when this does happen, you don't really feel cheated.
Yeah. It's you didn't pour all this investment into like a specific storyline that's happening with them. The lines are cut cleanly. And now it's like this new chapter of, well, let's start from square one and try to figure out how to like get back, not necessarily get back in good graces, but like I guess, clear our name, sort of.
Clear
Just
our
like
name and kind of return to...
Yeah,
we have to solve the Hellbeck issue and get back on the right side of history.
Yeah,
Because right now we are...
expose is kind of the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Expose the like manipulation that Hellbeck is doing, because they are ostensibly trying to like pull the strings to contrive a Cold War so that they can up their weapons sales.
That's
Middle
a
countries,
really...
yeah.
That's a really weird scene, is when they're kind of going through this, and then, like, kind of irrespective of everything, Thornton goes, they're making a mistake if they're trying to start a Cold War, because it's going to become a hot one.
Yeah,
And
you
then,
see missile lines across this map.
on what basis? Why is it going to...
Well, yeah,
Why
he
is that
says
that?
he says they made a big mistake,
Yeah.
but he doesn't say what it was.
At first, I thought like the tone with which he delivered that line made it seem like it's going to become a hot one was him in reference to him going against them and fighting back. But then you see the diagram of nuclear missiles coming from Russia and America hitting one another.
But when he says it, it also kind of he's like makes it sound like there's something they didn't realize that's going to turn into a hot war.
But he doesn't elaborate on that.
Yeah, it's like, they tried to kill me.
They haven't. Yeah, they haven't at any point like established any kind of like tension between countries or anything like that. That this is he's saying it as if like this is the ember that's gonna set everything afire, but they haven't laid down the tinder in the first place.
Yeah. Like, this is one of the few points in the game where I think the game makes a serious misstep. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it almost seems like they maybe had like a slightly different side plot going at one point in the development, and then they kind of scrapped it, but there are a few vestiges.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. Regardless, the main draw is still pretty compelling of like, well, let's pick up where we left off, but now we're rogue.
Yeah, fuck Hellbeck.
Yep. And you're on the plane?
Yeah, so then you take a plane to, if you're following along, Rome. And you meet this character who we don't actually really know that much about yet, but she's a journalist, right?
Photojournalist Scarlet Lake.
Yeah, and so this is the first time I flirted because she comes on pretty strong. I'm like, all right, I'm game.
Yeah.
You're sitting on the plane just like trying to relax for the first time in a long time because you've been running around Saudi Arabia blowing shit up and getting punched and collecting wads of cash.
Yep.
I don't know. Brett, you probably have more to say about this section than I do.
I have kind of a skill with this game wherein I forget how to do everything right, except for the big stuff.
Yeah.
So I did everything exactly wrong, and I was just like, "Greetings." And she's like, "Oh, what do you do?" "I'm a spy."
What did you say to that question when she asked you what you do?
I said I was into oil.
Okay.
That's a good one.
How did she take
But
that?
she didn't like it. She's like, oh, everyone around here's into oil.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I told her that I was like an analyst for Hellbeck weapons. And for some reason, she's fine with that.
Yeah. Like, I told her I was a spy, and she's like, "Does that work with anyone?" You know, like, no.
That's a pretty good response for them to put
And then she's like, "Okay, well, just hit me up if you know anything." I'm like, and then I said, "I'm just a regular guy."
Doubling back on that pretty quick.
And then she's like, "Oh, okay."
But this is actually prefaced by another interrogation scene where the CEO of Hellbeck implies that she will definitely become a more significant part of the story in the future.
It's
So,
like, you and the photo lady.
yeah.
That's what it says.
How did you two meet? After all, I've always been curious. Was it coincidence? I don't know.
I don't know.
But yeah, so we will probably find out next week when we pick up with Rome.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. Also, if you picked the wrong place, you can go back to the front door and just go to Rome.
Yeah, you can switch between them on the fly. Which
Or
is nice.
you can go to the wrong place because it pisses Brett off.
Brett, no!
Also, I'm kind of upset that I didn't kill him now because apparently that was the wrong option. And I kind of...
Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
like Westridge says, there's no wrong decision, just
Outcomes,
results.
Results.
And that's actually true.
But yeah,
But it's the one I like.
We are going to keep going through in a set order, not so much because we want to contrive a specific outcome, but because it's more conducive to talking about the game when we've seen the same content, Brent.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brent. Don't worry about the other episodes being so long. We did the equivalent of 2 hubs on this one.
Yeah.
We'll only be doing that again for the final episode.
Yeah, which is the conclusion doesn't take up as much time as the Alpha Protocol section, if I'm understanding correctly.
I mean, it took 60 minutes for the Alpha Protocol section for me, so it might actually.
Well, you've done it a lot. I probably spent a couple hours in Alpha Protocol. Honestly.
Okay.
So,
All right.
but yeah, and if it feels a little rushed because, like, what during the Saudi Arabia part, where we're just like, yeah, you go in and you fucking spy on the
Saudi Arabia is the weakest part of this entire game.
Also, like, any time that you are,
He's got the only good one.
That's true. Anytime that you are sneaking, hacking, shooting, navigating environments, it's not even worth talking about.
It's really not.
If you've done it for 10 minutes, you've done it for the whole game.
Like, it might seem, like, real rough, but it's not worth it. It's really not. I would play a Telltale version of this game in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I still play it, and I still enjoy it, even if the combat sucks. I like playing through on Veteran and just being the king of everything.
Yeah, you love it despite its flaws.
Yeah. But, like, it's not good. It's not worth talking about. It's not what the game is, in my eyes.
But for those of you who are suffering along with us, and then
Jordan.
taking the joy out of the parts that you can, if you have anything to write in about some other decision you made that you want to share a cool anecdote about or anything like that, or you just want to keep talking shit about the menu design and the combat, please write us in. We'd love to hear about your take on the game.
I'd like to hear more shit.
Yes.
That'd be good.
If
Brent,
you talk shit about this fucking game, I will rip out your throat, shit down it, and then give your corpse to your parents and tell them that you died eating shit.
He didn't do that.
you can write into sharewarepodcast@gmail.com and tell Brent what he missed.
Yeah, what did I...
I didn't play this week. What happened, guys?
Oh, God.
Oh, man, I really love Taipei.
But yeah, that brings things to a close, I believe.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you for listening. This has been Josh.
Brett.
And Brent.
Bye.
Hungry.
I'm hungry, too.